No. Hey guys, welcome back to the Adler podcast. Sorry for that mic issue. But we should be good now. It's good to be back. Episode 58 of the Adler podcast. I have like three videos going on here. Okay, and we're good. Franco, how's it going, my friend?
It's going. Didn't do much as filming assignments, like watching movies assignments this weekend. But I did watch Wonka. Obviously, I missed last time when you discussed Poor Things. Again, I will defy Joe and still say that Killing of a Sacred Deer is not the best Yorgos Lanthimos. I'm sorry to say.
All right.
Hello to all of the 6 people watching us. Say hello to the on chat. We love to interact with you guys. And how about you, Andrea? How's your week been?
Not too bad. I actually watched quite a lot of stuff this week. Been quite busy working on watching stuff. Apart from that, to be honest, still recovering. My shoulder is still not fun. Still having a lot of pain with my shoulder.
Still carrying that elephant in the room, or
oh my God! What happened to my camera?
Glitching out. There's going to be Shanna Keith. Hello, Keith.
You can see this right on your screen.
No, but on YouTube it's fine. It's not showing.
It's okay, good, because it looks like it's straight from an alien.
Now
it's showing.
Now it's showing.
One second, let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave and re-enter.
Anyway, guys, well, I'll keep talking to you. Tell us what you have been watching, and this is the Adler podcast. It's all about movies, all about TV shows, and sometimes games, especially when Andrea plays. And what have you been watching, guys? So last time when I wasn't able to attend, I had watched Poor Things. Loved it a lot. I must, like, all of the cast were really courageous to do a movie like this. Emma Stone is brilliant. Mark Ruffalo is hilarious. Willem Dafoe goes without saying that he's a genius. Yes, we have a special guest here, Leica, and Andreas Beck.
Hey, should be good now. Should be good.
I was telling them about. I was telling them how much I like the Poor Things, and what a courageous film it was, because you rarely see those kind of movies recently, especially with all the. If you do this, someone will be offended. If you do that, someone else will be offended. But to be honest, Ben, have you watched it or have?
I have not yet watched it. I'm going to watch it tomorrow. Finally.
When tomorrow?
Probably we'll go watch it at 1:45 in the afternoon.
But I won't be able to because I want to watch it again. To be honest.
Really?
And
okay.
Yes, I want to watch it again and see if the second time round would be the same thing.
Okay.
Because there isn't much. I think there isn't much coming out new in the cinemas recently. There will be. I was seeing, in fact, the coming soon. Speaking of which, Andrea, we should also mention our sponsor.
I'll talk to you after, Franco.
Oh no! What happened?
No, nothing happened. As in, on my end, nothing happened, and I'll speak to you about that. I'll speak to you about that. All right.
No worries.
No, but actually, we can have a look at the coming soon. Anyways, why not? Let me open it up on my screen really quickly. We can have a quick look at the coming soon. So, have you watched Anyone But You, Franco?
No, I have no, nothing. I haven't watched Anyone But You.
Coming soon, Color Purple, which we actually have a review for today, so that will be good for anyone interested.
I haven't watched it, so I'm not.
Which looks interesting. Migration, I don't know what to think about that. Not too convinced.
All right.
Have you seen the trailer for the Bob Marley one? I saw the trailer yesterday.
I've seen the trailer as myself. Yeah, I think it's for reggae people. I think Malta will do good because there are many Bob Marley fans.
Looks a little by the books, però from just the trailer. Looks very
Listen,
bland.
Bohemian Rhapsody was a hit here in Malta, so I think it will be a hit.
True. No, it will be a hit. It will be a hit, but ما نعرفش. Maybe the movie's better. Oh, Madam Web.
But
Oh no.
but we are going to watch Madam Web for sure. You know,
Oh,
it's
no.
Valentine special.
Oh, come and watch it with me, please, Franco, because I don't know if I can survive.
I mean, no, listen, I want to watch something bad because I haven't been watching bad stuff recently.
Oh, it's a cathartic experience, yeah. To be honest with you, like, I remember watching Morbius on my own, and I had I had planned to go meet Tricienne after, and when she saw me right after, we went to eat after watching Morbius. She's like, "What happened to you? It's like you just seen a ghost." No, I just seen Morbius.
Morbius. I mean, almost there. But Dune Part 2. So excited.
Dune, give me Dune now.
So excited. But that's first March. And speaking of Wonka, I was surprised by Timothy Chalamet's no, wait, as I saw on Letterboxd, Timothy Chocolate.
Timothy Chocolate.
I was surprised by Timothy Chalamet's performance. Wonka, he's got quite the charisma.
He's good. You know how much we were like, oh, we don't know if maybe he can pull it off as Wonka. Yep. We don't think he's got the kind of personality. He really does. He really does.
He does. And you know what? I really want him to see now. I actually posted on Letterboxd. By the way, guys, if you have Letterboxd, follow us on there. I said like I'd like to see him as a villain, but with a twisted dark humor, you know.
Okay, interesting.
Could he be a good Joker?
Ifimni, before I answer the Joker question, his character in Dune, Paul, has quite an interesting development, which I think we might start seeing already in Dune 2, but hopefully we'll see more of if Dune 2 is successful and we get the third Dune Messiah. That's where Paul really twists, the really twists and turns. His character would take some interesting development. With regard to Joker, Timothy Chalamet as Joker, I don't see it, gonna be honest with you. But I mean, he's a talented actor, he's a real theater kid. I mean, why not? Let's be honest, why not, right? He's got the talent for it, let's be honest. Shall we get into it, Franco?
tlaqna.
Mela, because this week we've got lots and lots and lots to talk about. First of all, obviously we'll talk to you about what we've been watching this week, movies, series, video games, all that good jazz. We've got some trailers. We've got the very, very interesting trailer for Monkey Man, which is Dev Patel's directorial debut. We've got Immaculate, starring Sydney Sweeney, which also is interesting, and I have
she's on a roll, yes, yeah.
On a roll. She's one busy actress, man. That's one she's got. Anyone but you. So we'll get into it when we talk about it. Tuesday, which is interesting. I know, very positive reaction, but I don't know. I have thoughts as well there, starring Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I have thoughts there as well. And Franco, you brought it to my attention today, the new Ghostbusters Frozen Empire trailer. And I want to talk to you about Ghostbusters. Something I had spoken to the chat when I was all on my lonesome, but I want to see what you think about it as well. My thought. Then we've got some news. I've been putting in a lot of effort to pay attention also to the video game news, so I've got a couple of news here with regard to video games. First of all, we're going to look at what the hell is going on at Microsoft and Activision Blizzard, because there have been a lot of layoffs. I believe 1,900 layoffs.
God.
Yep. And we're going to look at what's going on there and how that affects Blizzard, how that affects Activision and Call of Duty and all these, video games we all love. And I read this piece of news regarding IGN and what has happened to the review copy of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League with regard to IGN. We'll get into it, and I want to hear your thoughts then, Franco. I know probably you haven't heard anything about this.
No, I haven't heard anything.
But we'll go through the article and then let me know what you think, because there's an interesting discussion to be had there. And then obviously, of course, it happened. It feels like it happened ages ago, because the discussion on social media Twitter, X, Facebook has been raging nonstop. But that's right after last week's podcast.
Spoiler alert, guys. So get ready. Barbie does not deserve Oscars. Full stop. That's done. And we'll get to the meat of this hot take later on. So get ready, guys.
And then we'll get into it. And then obviously the reviews. I think then Franco can leave because I've got a bunch of reviews. Masters of the Year on Apple TV Plus. I've got The Color Purple. I got One Life as well. I managed to watch One Life yesterday.
One Life.
The Anthony Hopkins, Johnny Flynn, Alex Sharp, Jonathan Pryce, Helena Bonham Carter. Good cast. A very good cast.
Is it the based on World War II?
Yes. Partly based on World War II, partly based later on. It's like a double story going on. You see Sir Nicholas Winton in exactly before World War II, basically, and see kind of like how he was trying to get out kids, specifically a lot of Jewish kids from Prague, from Czechoslovakia, right before the German invasion. That's one part of the story, and the other part is seeing him kind of like going back through his memories and through all his documents and kind of like and how that story then develops into
would it be a good double feature with Schindler's List?
Yes, definitely. Obviously one is a much superior film to the other. Not like giving but don't get me wrong, One Life is not a bad movie at all. It's not. Just obviously Schindler's List is like a masterpiece.
Top. Did you know?
Mean Girls.
Quick trivia.
Franco. Yes, go ahead, Franco.
Quick trivia before we haven't done a bit of trivia. Schindler's List was filmed in the same year as Jurassic Park. Would you believe it?
Shit.
Can you imagine Spielberg going from Jurassic Park to Schindler's List?
Jesus, true.
And Mean Girls. Give me some a taster of what you thought.
I mean, it's not the 2004 film, definitely, because that's amazing. But, I've been seeing, and I want to get into the discourse as well, because if you look up Mean Girls on YouTube, all you're going to see are lots of right-wing grifters going, oh, it's so woke, it's going woke, so diverse. And, I hate that discourse so much, man. I want to make a TikTok about that, in fact. I hate that discourse so much. By the way, since I mentioned TikTok, I started posting some shorts on TikTok as well. Check out our TikTok. I put up a review for Color Purple and Masters of the Year as well. So check out our TikTok, guys. We are on everywhere, basically. Man, let's get into it, Franco, because we've got lots to say. Franco.
Stay tuned for the review of Madame Web.
Oh, no. Straight out of the theater reaction.
Exactly.
No. Let's get into it, Franco. I have to go through this really quickly because we've got lots of news and lots of reviews. So, what have you been up to? What have you been watching?
So, I like I said, Wonka, very enjoyable. Watched it with my dad. Loved a lot. I really love Keegan Michael Key. Madonna. That's right? No, Keegan Michael Key. Sorry. Keegan Michael Key was hilarious. Timothée Chalamet really brings it. And Paul King Paul King has a good flair for these kind of movies, especially like with Paddington, like sweet movies. And then, like I said, I started watching X-Files from season 1, and it's funny to see it today. It's like this is like 1993 almost, but not almost, 31 years ago. And it's funny because I used to, whenever I used to hear the theme music, I was scared shitless when I was younger. But then, sorry, I'm looking at, because there's Leica, so we have a special guest over here. And I used to be scared shitless, but now watching it is it's almost like there's a certain charm to it, and the skepticism of Gillian and of Dana Scully compared to the sarcasm and the belief of Fox Mulder. I I'd say this is where the QAnon started, basically, because Fox Mulder really has this kind of like the government is hiding from us stuff from us, But it's interesting. I'll keep watching it. It's also like people, you know, like people put friends in the background while they're correcting or studying or something. This is for X-Files is for me. While I'm studying some coding and whatnot, I put it
Hmm.
in the
Fair
window
enough.
next to me.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But
What else, Franco?
no, I want to go watch something else because after I told someone that I don't know if I'm being too harsh, but movies recently like Poor Things, it's something like Poor Things is really raises the bar almost. Even like it's so much like it's one of my favorites this year for sure. What else did we watch this year as well? I haven't seen Society of the Snow yet. I have to get updated basically.
This year I was looking at my letterbox. Yeah, I already have like
Sorry.
7 movies in. I mean, minus what I'm going to review today. So basically, minus Mean
Hmm.
Girls, minus One Life, and minus The Color Purple. I already have like 7 movies in. Let me go through them really quickly. I have Monster, which I watched this
Hmm.
year, which I mean for us came out this year. So Society of the Snow, Boys in the Boat, The Beekeeper, Eileen, Good Grief, and The Next Goal Wins. So for me, I'll consider all those
Okay.
2024 movies. By the way, might as well mention it now. I'm think for this year, I'm going to go with when a movie is available in Malta. That's a 2024 movie. So if a movie is
Okay.
available
Okay.
in Malta in 2024, for me, that's a 2024 movie. So if Poor
Yeah.
Things came out in 2024, I'm going to put it in my, if it makes it, I'll put it in my top 10 movies of 2024. Because, I mean, it doesn't make sense just going with the US when the US gets stuff much earlier than we do. So, I mean, it doesn't make sense for when we put the lists and all that jazz. Because then we'll end up leaving Poor Things out of both lists, which doesn't
No.
make
No.
sense, right?
No.
If it's going to fit in our list.
For sure, top 10. Poor Things for sure. That I'm
It's a
sure
long
of it.
year. It's a long year. It's a long year.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, Dune Part Two hopefully will be in it. Hopefully,
Definitely.
let's
I'm
let's
quite
let's
confident.
let's let's not hype it up too much as well.
No, I'm going to hype it up. What else,
Anyway,
Franco? Have you been watching?
no, that's it mostly, and I just can't wait for Ripley and for Three Body Problem, and then I'm gonna binge those as well.
Yeah, definitely,
And
definitely.
by the way, review from my father, he's really liking a Monsieur Spade.
Oh, he's watching Monsieur Spade.
Yeah,
Nice.
he's
I am too. I am too. I am too. Well, let's get into it. So, actually, let me start with the series. So, Monsieur Spade, I've watched the first 2 episodes. Third episode came out yesterday, I believe, but I haven't had the time to watch it so far. I'll watch it tonight, probably, after the podcast. Really liking it so far. I think the cinematography is some of the best cinematography we've had from any series in quite a long time. I think it competes with the very best series with regard to cinematography. The pacing is sometimes a bit slow, but obviously it's all part of the whole concept of it. Clive Owen, fantastic casting, fantastic choice as the detective Spade. He's been great so far. Looking forward to seeing how this story develops. I mean, it's a pretty much a basic premise, right? They find a murder and now they're trying to solve it. But there's lots of elements of politics as well in it, which is interesting. It's a political world that I'm not too familiar with. This is France post invasion of was it Algeria? I'm not 100% sure. France post. This is 1963 in France.
During the Algerian, I think.
Exactly. And I was really impressed, Franco, by how much it goes into like the effects of the war on people, and you've got people here in the show who have been impacted by the war mentally, physically, and it really goes into that as well. So it's quite a nuanced series. Lots of interesting themes are touched upon. I mean, I was expecting nothing going into it. I was literally expecting nothing, and I was really surprised. I've been so enjoying it so far. So that's one. I'll watch the third episode today. What else? What else? I've obviously been watching True Detective. You haven't started True Detective season 4?
No,
Okay.
not yet.
I think you like it, huh?
No, I am a huge fan of the first season. Haven't watched the second season. Not is there a second season? To be honest,
There is.
there is a second season.
They just went to the third season,
Exactly.
which I haven't watched. Which once I'm done with season 4, I'll go back and watch season 3 because apparently it's quite good as well.
Yeah, season three. Season three, it's back in form, and I think they changed. They had changed the writer. It's no longer Nick Pizzolato.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if you miss one series, it's okay, right? Because it's only
Yes, it's an
thematically.
anthology. Thematically, you have certain let's say horror elements in it, which are recurring, especially between the first season and this season. There are some elements I can see there without going into
Yeah,
any
I
spoilers.
saw the spiral motif
The spider
coming.
motif, some of the imagery, some of the symbolism is there, and obviously it's the same approach, right? You've got the detectives trying to solve a case, but the series is as much as it is I mean, it's not really a whodunit, but as much as it is a who done it in a sense that they're trying to solve the case. It's also
a why done it.
a why done it, and it's also an exploration into the detectives themselves and like the dark descent of their characters. There are obviously, when it comes to True Detective, no black and white characters. It's just gray characters, right? So I think
Nice.
Jodie Foster is killing it. She is such a presence in the show, a very much needed presence. No, I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm enjoying the way it's shot, beautifully shot. Some of the CGI in the first episode was a little iffy, but I mean, it's the budget, right? After all.
Are all episodes are out already?
No. Just the first 3. I watched the first 2,
Alright,
and the third one came out, I mean, in America, Sunday at 9 p.m. So for us, it would be 3 a.m. this morning. So obviously, I didn't have time to watch it. I'll watch it.
Finally back to week by week basis. It's nice. Yeah.
HBO Sundays are back, and I'm so happy HBO Sundays are back. Talking about CGI, Percy Jackson and the Olympians. I'm all caught up with Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Final episode coming up this Wednesday. And Franco, I have to say, the quality is still there, Estra. The quality is still there. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is no Monsieur Spade or no True Detective. It is what it is, right? But I've been having a very good time watching it. Some episodes a bit weaker than others. In the last episode, they got to meet Hades and see the whole underworld. And visually, I think it's a very well-made series. Our protagonist, this actor, is Walker Scobell, is very, very good, very charismatic actor. He was in the Adam Project with Ryan Reynolds. He was a younger Ryan Reynolds, basically, in this, and he was very good in that. And I've been happy to say he's also very good as Percy Jackson. So overall, I'm curious, what was the reaction to 7.8? I think that's a fair score. Yeah, maybe a little lower, but overall, that's a fair score. I think 7.8. I've been having a good time. It's short episodes, 30, 35, 40-minute episodes, so not a big time investment. If you want watching True Detective and then Monsieur Spade and then all very heavy thematic, strong thematic stuff. And then you go One Life, watch One Life. And then I'm watching Star Trek, all very, heavy topics about war, about, all these different interesting themes. It's fun, but it's nice to watch something light as well. And this is something that's light. It's well made. It's a good series and a good win for Disney. And so I've watched episode 7, and I'm all caught up, waiting for the final episode to come out this Wednesday. Excited for that. Then obviously I've been watching Star Trek.
Ikollok ċans ara television series. Ikollok ċans.
The original series. Oh my god. This is so Star Trek, the original series. Of course, it is a product of its time. It's 1966 to 1969, so you take it for what it is. But the good episodes, because there are bad episodes, but the good episodes are really good. Like, the writing is some of the best writing I've ever seen in any series, honestly. There was one episode where they were being chased by another spaceship, and they go into the whole concept of war and whether they should fight back or whether they should try and have peace. So it goes into really interesting, themes about war and so on. It's really well done. Obviously, William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, the main cast are out of this world good. Really good show. I mean, I'm preaching to
To the converted. Have you heard of a series also in the 60s called The Prisoner?
no,
I think you might like it.
No, I have not. But I mean, I've got like.
And there was a, I think there was a remake, like a 2000 remake, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. No, I haven't watched this.
Number 6, Angelo Muscat. Like, no, he was actually Maltese as far as I remember.
Interesting.
But this is like he's caught into this like utopic village and he's trying to escape.
Oh, nice.
I think this is the I'm not a number, I'm a human being. If I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
It's quite interesting, and I wanted to tell you as well because I'm something that caught my attention recently. Apparently, Stanley Kubrick was really inspired by this movie called a Czechoslovakian movie. Quick tangent. I really want to get into Soviet Czechoslovakian cinema because apparently it's quite something. There's this movie called Ikaria X1B, if I'm not mistaken.
You're gonna have to tell me how to spell that though.
IKA. RIE.
RRIE.
X1B.
X1B.
If I'm not mistaken.
Nothing came up. But I have Voyage to the End of the Universe. Is that? Yes, that's it. Because the poster is that. Yep. A Voyage to the End of the Universe, probably in English.
Ikaria XB1. Yes. Voyage to the End of the Universe. That's the one. Yep.
Ooh, this is sci-fi. Interesting.
Sci-fi, yeah. And it's like it dates. I think I don't know if Criterion is showing. Criterion Online is showing a restored version, and
I can see the inspiration, huh?
And even before, like Tarkovsky's called Solaris, and so before Alien, I am really interested of to watch it as well.
Do Criterion have a Blu-ray of this? I would be interested in buying it, Ostra.
Criterion usually should have. I mean,
I've been ordering a few Criterion Blu-rays.
Ooh,
look at this shot, Ostra.
Just a second. Yep. No, it seems like that the restoration looks quite amazing.
Okay, so one I'll look up for my Blu-ray collection. Where was I? So that's with regard to series. I think that's enough series, to be honest. And then the movies. Found some time to watch another. Like this is like the 10th time I've rewatched this, but every couple of years I just sit down and watch 2 hours of manly, brawny men.
I'm in red as well. So.
Getting chased by one of the most fascinating character designs I've ever seen on a screen in my life. Because honestly, the Predator is such a fucking cool creation. Like, it's so cool. The way it's designed is just perfection.
And it's such a shame. It's generally such a shame that the Alien versus Predator crossover was so shit.
Suck ass. They are so
It's such a shame, man. Because 2 iconic monsters, and then you have that like a cash grab of a movie.
Pero Franco, I mean, look at that cast. I mean, every single one oozes charisma, oozes like such screen presence, and you've got them all there, All of, it's
This
incredible, man.
this is for all the right wing grifters who didn't like Mean Girls. Have your have your suppressed homoerotic fantasy over here.
And Schwarzenegger is surprisingly very good in this. He's so good in it, man.
Oh wait, I mean Schwarzenegger, even in True Lies, he's so hilarious. Total Recall, the 80s since Schwarzenegger was so good, and I actually want to watch Conan the Barbarian.
Ilallo, man, that movie. I think that's a secondary. When I was in secondary, I watched that. Jesus.
But that's 80s, yeah?
No. As in, obviously, I watched it when I was in my secondary school.
There's Conan the Barbarian and Kral the Conqueror, if I'm not mistaken. I want to watch them just to see even the creature designs.
True. This still holds up, Franco. I mean, some of the effects obviously are what they are, but it still holds up as an. How do you describe it? Like a mixed up of action horror, I think.
Action sci-fi horror.
Action sci-fi horror, yeah.
But what would you choose, Predator or Aliens, the sequel to Alien? Gun to your head. Yeah.
Gun to my head. Predator or the first Alien or second Alien?
No, the second Aliens. Because it was, I think, 87 was when the second Aliens.
I mean,
out.
there's such different movies, Ostrats. It's like like putting Oppenheimer and Barbie against each other. Like Aliens is the better movie, but if I'm in a particular mood, I'm going to watch Predator. Even I'm in a particular mood, I'm going to watch Barbie. But Oppenheimer is the superior film. If I want to watch, if I'm in a particular mood, I'm in this mood quite a few times. In fact, I rewatch Predator every 1-2 years. If I'm in that mood where I want to watch, brawny men fight against the Predator, I'm going to watch Predator. But Alien, I think Alien 2 is the superior film, in my opinion.
And our viewers and listeners gone to your head. Is it Predator or Aliens?
Alien versus Predator. Who's your pick? Let us know in the comment section below. And don't forget to like the video if you're enjoying it so far. I watched also, Franco, this was my missing.
You watched Prey as well, no?
Yes, man. It was good. I really liked Prey. I think it's
Silence.
It's my missing. It was one of my few missing
Scorsese.
It's I think it's a very good movie. Production design, cinematography are all incredible. Did you notice, however, there was some sound issues in certain scenes?
No, I didn't watch. Oh,
you haven't watched it? Okay,
I haven't watched it.
I looked it up, and it wasn't just me who noticed it. There were some scenes where the sound design was a bit. There was some sound issues here and there, especially in scenes where they were shot almost in the sea. So Keith tells us, I would choose Aliens, but Predator is really good. Yeah, fair enough. I agree with Keith. There were some issues where the waves were crashing, for example, and the sound sounded a bit off. I don't know if it was just me, but that's just a small nitpick from one incredibly epic, beautiful movie with fantastic Andrew Garfield. Garfield in this was out of this world. I don't know if he was, but if he wasn't nominated for this performance, I think that's a crime against humanity. If he wasn't nominated for this performance. And Liam Neeson, so good in this. He's such a complex character in Silence, Liam Neeson. And Adam Driver, obviously, is Adam Driver, right? He's always good in everything he is in. So I watched Silence, and I had a very, very good time watching it. It's strange to say I had a good time watching it because it's such a depressing movie. But it's a very well-made movie. Very well-made movie.
At least it's not 3 hours too long. So.
Still quite long, 2 hours, 41 minutes. And then obviously, One Life, Color Purple, and Mean Girls, which I will review later on. So that is our week. Yes, Franco.
Another taster for Color Purple, because I haven't watched it. I'm okay. This is my impression, especially for even Mean Girls. Like, did Color Purple need a musical update? Is it? It's almost. For me, it feels like it trivializes the original Color Purple.
Yes, that's part of my review, right? So the musical elements and how they affect the very serious themes that are touched upon in the movie. And
I
it's a bit of
mean,
an issue, but I'll get into it in my review then.
I mean, there are some good musicals like Dancer in the Dark, for example. I mean, it's a very heavy, thematically heavy musical, and even Les Miserables, I would say.
Of
I
course.
don't know. I cannot I cannot see like something like domestic abuse put into a musical. I know it's not funny, but it's so
Yes, yes,
incongruous.
yes. It's true. It's true, and it's an issue that the movie battles with. It's an issue it battles with, but it's got the
This
Broadway to base off as well. So there's the Broadway
no,
show.
and Oprah Winfrey. I mean, I cannot say because then again, plus there's great talent in there. Taraji P Henson, Hailey Berry. So the
Oh
talent is there. So this is not to demean the
no, the
talent. It's just
cast is. No, let me stop there because I'm going to say my whole review now.
that's
um,
that's what that's what kept me from watching it. Like I'd like to watch the Spielberg one. Also, by the way, Eden Cinemas. This is not directed by Steven Spielberg. All right, let me tell you who is directed because
which
we
which which one, Franco?
this one, oh, the musical one.
Ah, The Color Purple. Oh my God, they wrote down Steven Spielberg.
They said the advert on the radio saying Steven Spielberg is
Oh
directed
shit!
this, and this
No,
is actually directed by just a second.
that's the
Blitz
1985 version.
Bazawule.
Yeah, who's known mostly for musical videos, I believe, and he did like a concert video for Beyonce, I think. I
Oh,
think he
okay,
did a
okay.
concert video for Beyonce, one of the most well-known and one of the most beautifully shot concert videos, apparently. And he's got talent. He's got talent. I'm going to be honest. It's very
Nice,
well
nice.
directed. But I mean, let me stop there because that's the whole review. Let's get into the trailer, shall we, Franco? Because we've got a few trailers
Tlaqna.
to talk about. We have to sprint through a few. But starting off with the first one, and the first one is one I've been very excited to talk about. Since I watched it, I was like, oh my God, yes, this is the one I want to talk about on the podcast. Monkey Man, which is going to be produced by Jordan Peele. And it's the first time we see Dev Patel in the directorial seat. So Dev Patel's directorial debut, Monkey Man, has a new trailer, a new release date, and a new studio home. Originally set to be released via Netflix, the Mumbai set action thriller will now have a theatrical release on April 5th via Jordan Peele's Monkey Paw, which is a very appropriate production team name. Monkey Paw
And sorry,
producing Monkey Man.
thank fuck for that
Thank
because
fuck.
this looks like a cinema movie, man.
Yep. It would be crime against cinema if this movie was just released on Netflix.
Yep.
In the new trailer, Patel stars as Kid, an impoverished young man who ekes out a living as a gorilla-masked underground fighter. However, inspired by the mythical monkey god, he takes on the criminal elite of Mumbai with his wits and his fists. Wild action ensues, although he quickly learns that some windows don't break quite as easily as they do for Tom Cruise in the movies. And can I just say, Franco, before I let you speak about it, that scene had me laughing out loud. The moment when he tries to do a Tom Cruise, jumping out of the window, then he's like, boom. I was laughing out loud. I haven't laughed out that much in a trailer in ages, in like forever. What did you think, Franco?
When I saw it after you posted about it on our chat, and I'm like, holy shit, this movie looks great. It has the elements of Bollywood. Then it has the action of John Wick. I mean, Murifem and Dev Patel really looks great in this. I mean, and to speak about Joe, by the way, hello Joe. I don't know if he's following us. Um, uh, he said like it's a crime that they didn't consider him for James Bond, and actually he just went ahead and did his own sort of James Bond movie. No, I'm looking forward. This came out of nowhere. Looking forward to it. A bit of controversy as well because apparently Jordan Peele signed a petition to let the hostages out. That's not. I'm sorry, guys. That's not being a Zionist. That's calling for something humanitarian because being a hostage is not a nice thing in the whole context as well. I mean, right now it's not a nice thing being a hostage what so fucking ever with all the bombs going around you. But anyway, that because this was another controversy surrounding this movie, and then again, it has nothing to do with Jordan Peele. This is all Dev Patel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It's the action feels crunchy. The action.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So, I just wanted to say a couple of things about it. First of all, obviously, Dev Patel is one talented
Ooh,
dude.
sorry, that looks like it's being shot on the volume.
I do you think so?
Yes, it looks like it's LED projection, but
Oh, stop.
I mean it's from where I'm seeing it, because no, this is not LED projection.
Could be. I don't know. I'm not going to recognize the volume, to be honest. Apart from in some of the Star Wars stuff, because it's so obvious in some of the Star Wars stuff. Pero, let me keep it here. This is a good. That's a good scene. I think Dev Patel is a fantastic actor. He's incredibly talented. I think his take on The Green Knight was really good. He was fantastic in that. Obviously, came to, I think it was Slumdog Millionaire, right? Which really brought him to the
Yeah,
attention of like Hollywood proper, than of like the West. I'd say it was Slumdog Millionaire.
was he
Um,
was he in Skins as well, if I'm not
I
mistaken?
don't remember. I
Skins
don't
season
remember.
1.
I haven't watched Skin, so I can't say. Not really a big fan of those kind of like series. And I recently saw him also in The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, which was the Wes Anderson
Mm-mm.
shorts on Netflix. And it was very good in those as well. Very good. So he's a talented dude. He's great in every role he takes, basically. He's got the looks, he's got the talent, he's got the physique apparently as well. And he's got the the physique and the acting and action chops to get the job done. It'll be interesting to see, however, how the story develops, because obviously going through the plot from what I read, it's pretty much John Wick with a bit more humor added in it, from the impression
Mm.
I'm getting. The action seems creative, like you said, very crunchy, very it looks and feels good. The whole Bollywood element is an interesting addition to the John Wick kind of like style. I think it fits perfectly. Let's be honest. I think it fits perfectly.
Yes, yes.
I think this is shot up to be one of my most anticipated movies of the year. Cinematography looks great.
That's
Everything.
Sharlto Copley.
I'm not going to recognize him.
Okay.
I'm not going to recognize him. I'm not going to recognize him. But this is really shot up to be one of my most anticipated movies of the year, and I'm very, very much excited to see it. Anything else you want to add, Franco? Or we move on to the next one?
No, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to it as well. Madoff. Oh, by the way, have you ever seen Blue Ruin?
I have not.
Check Blue Ruin out, because I think this is almost. It feels like he might be a bit out of his depth as well as the kid. So
Okay.
we'll see. We'll see.
All right. Okay. We'll do. We'll do. Well, that is Monkey Man. Moving on to the second trailer. One of the, excuse the pun, hottest actresses plying her trade right now. Hottest not just because she is stunning, but also because everyone wants Sydney Sweeney in their movie or in their series. Sydney Sweeney is a real pull at the box office. Look at Anyone But You. That was made on cents, on change, and it's hit 100 million.
But let's not forget also what's his
Glenn
name?
Powell. Glenn
Glenn
Powell
Powell.
also is a big pull as well. So they're both big pulls. I mean, obviously, Glenn Powell coming off Top Gun, for example. He's got, what's he got this year coming out?
Hitman.
Hitman
Hitman.
as well, which we are all excited about. But anyway, Sydney Sweeney takes on the forces of evil in the first Immaculate trailer. Here we go. Oh, as far as cinema is concerned, we have a lot to look forward to in March. Sci-fi fans undoubtedly have the March 1st arrival of Dune 2 scribbled onto their calendars, while those eagerly awaiting the queer drama Love Lies Bleeding are counting down the days until its March 8 drop. As for horror stands, perhaps the most exciting film to come from the month is Neon's latest entry to the genre, Immaculate, starring Sydney Sweeney. The movie, which celebrates its theatrical release on March 22nd, marks a reunion between the Euphoria actress and director Michael Mohan, with the creative pair previously having teamed up on the filmmaker's 2021 thriller Voyeurs. Yeah,
Oh
that's
no!
right, Franco.
Oh no! Look! Voyeurs. Oh shit. Okay. Look, Voyeurs. Stylistically was there, and this shows as well. Like when you see the trailer, it has some nice visual flair. Let's hope it's not the script is well written, man, because some of the lines I was laughing my ass off. I mean, even my review on Letterboxd is just LOL. Sorry. Oh god. Please, I hope it, because the trailer looks so promising, you know. I hope it will be good. And that's why I went on.
So, I mean, let me tell you the story really quickly, Franco. So, apparently, Sydney Sweeney is a nun on a mission for answers in the town of her new convent. Sweeney's character, Cecilia, finds a difficult adversary in the mysterious and dark secrets harbored by those in her new town. What started as an exciting new chapter in the young nun's life quickly turns sour as she comes to find that not everything is pure and holy in the picturesque village. Apparently, she turns pregnant. From what I learned from the trailer, she becomes pregnant, and apparently, however, she's still a virgin. So obviously, you've got that whole, the Virgin Mary imagery, right, in the trailer. That seems to be the story. Now, my take on this is either it's a fantastic horror, or else it's a terrible, terrible movie. It can only go two ways, in my opinion.
2 ways.
I don't think there's going to be the in-between here. It's either terrible or else it's a really good, well-made horror.
Look, what's promising, the visuals are there. Neon is also on a roll right now with some really great releases from Neon. Sydney Sweeney is also, like you said, bankable. She's she doesn't have just the looks. She also has the talent to it.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, look at that shot, man. Of the priest. It looks amazing. Let's see. I'll wait and see, because the Voyeurs was a bit.
Even this shot. This is really the composition of the scene. Oh, man,
yeah, there's
a
bit of sexiness, which is I think they're trying to like this sequence.
This scene. Oh, so good.
Was so good.
It looks great. It looks really promising visually. But the story, that's why I'm telling you, it's either really good or else it's terrible. Because the story has me like, interesting, but can you pull it off?
And when is the Omen? Because it seems like it's gonna clash with the Omen as well, huh?
This scene, bitch, man, this scene had me like, wow. The Omen, I'll look it up. I'm not 100% sure when it comes up. That's the Omen 2023. 2024. Let me look it up like that. The First Omen. That's called The First Omen, which in fact looks very similar to it. Even just looking at the trailer, it looks exactly the same. Releases April 5th. So that's a month, not even a month, like a couple of weeks after. So that's going to be the Omen, the First Omen versus the Immaculate.
Shall we do a double feature, Mala? We go watch it on one day. We see Immaculate first, then we go watch First Omen.
It depends when they come out. I would imagine this comes out in Malta, because this looks like the kind of movie that lots of Maltese people would like to go, because Maltese
especially
love horror.
And they love nuns as well, especially San Francisco. No, sorry,
even this scene looks great. I mean, it's well shot. It's well shot.
Like I said, Michael McMahon, if nothing else, in the Voyeurs, he has the visual flair. The problem was the script, the story. It was so childish. But let's see. Maybe this one was very mature. So this one looks great. What else? By the way, guys, I also suggest that you also watch Ken Russell's The Devils because it's kind of similar to
Okay. All right.
similar themes. Joe, I just saw Joe's review on Letterboxd. He reviewed it as 4.5 out of 5. Classic of Ken Russell.
Nice. Nice. So that is Immaculate. Looking forward to that. Catholic imagery looks really fascinating. It's going to be an interesting one. I believe, like I said, this can only go two ways: amazing or terrible. This one, I have thoughts, but I think we can go through it really quickly. Tuesday, A24 movie, which was obviously always catches your attention. A24 has long been synonymous with completely wrecking our hearts through stories of grief, family trauma, hope, and acceptance. And their latest project, Tuesday, will be no different. The film will see Seinfeld and Veep star Julia Louis-Dreyfus in what looks like her most touching role yet. As a mother unable to see a world without her terminally ill daughter, a trailer released today blends fantasy with reality as Dana Pusic makes her filmmaking debut in a project that depicts the close bonds between a mother and daughter and an unforeseen connection to nature that makes their burden lighter to carry. Franco, you've watched the trailer. What did you think?
I'm intrigued by it. Definitely, most probably, definitely better than what was the other Julia Louis Dreyfus. Like I generally didn't like No Hard Feelings. Sorry, Paul. Andrew Scott made said he it was a very touching movie, but No Hard Feelings was very bourgeois. But this seems like a much needed improvement. And I thought that the parrot was voiced by Ralph Ineson. It's not Ralph Ineson. It's by an African American or African British actor, and it's really interesting. I mean, the personification is that as a parrot. I mean, it doesn't seem as comedic. I'm,
No,
I'm,
definitely
I'm
not comedic. But I think, Franco, I'm sorry I have to rain on this parade, but I don't know. It feels a little too ridiculous for me. I don't know, man. Talking parrots flies down, serves as an emissary of death.
Look. A ghost. Was that a ghost story by Daniel Lowry?
Ghost story, yeah. David Lowry. That's
I,
David
I
Lowry.
mean, I mean, how ridiculous is it to have a ghost literally being a blanket with two eye holes?
Yeah.
Huh?
But it
But
worked.
it
Yes.
worked too. So there's
I don't
that.
know, man. Does it have to be a parrot though? Like, I don't get the parrot angle here. I don't get it. I think the voice also doesn't. I didn't like the voice. Going to be honest,
Really?
I don't know. It's not working for me. It really isn't working for me, and I know it's getting some really glowing reviews as well. If you look at although the quotes
Mhm.
can be taken out of context, but I think we don't really need a lot of context for it's an extraordinary directorial debut, visionary, fantastical, and filled with heart.
I mean, this is like it's like review GPT now, bro.
And the Hollywood Reporter as well. I know there was a quote from the Hollywood Reporter as well. This is Scott Mance, an exquisitely beautiful meditation about life, love, acceptance, and letting go. I don't know. Maybe I'll watch it and it works, but from the trailer, I don't know. I'm not convinced. I have to be honest. Although it should be the kind of thing that really works for me because I love these kinds of movies that are a true meditation on life and death. I love those kind of movies.
Hmm. He's
This
right. Keith said Tuesday reminds me of a Monster
what's
Calls.
I haven't watched that. A monster,
J.A. Bayona, if you like. I think he's J.A. Bayona or Monster Calls as well.
a monster calls. Oh, I've seen this poster, but I haven't watched this movie. Interesting. Jay Bayona, yes, Jay Bayona.
Yes, the same guy who directed Society of the Snow. It's very highly
Interesting,
rated.
interesting. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Would you recommend it, Keith?
Keith,
Let us know. I haven't watched it, so I can't comment about that.
me neither. So it makes two of us.
Hmm. Interesting, interesting call. So, I mean, I have to call it how I see it. The trailer, I don't know. I'm not convinced. But again, you've got a talented actress there. concept seems interesting. It's just the whole parrot of it all just feels a bit too ridiculous for a topic this serious. I don't know. Maybe I watched the movie and I love it. I hope I do, because it's A24.
When is it slated to release, or no
So
release date yet?
slated to release. We don't know when. I don't think there's the date so far. Nope, no date so far. So no date so far for Tuesday. And to conclude, the trailer for Ghostbusters.
Musical interlude.
Good. Mela, New York has a ghost problem. When has it not? And everyone knows exactly who to call. Sony unleashed a chilling new trailer today for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, the sequel to 2021's Ghostbusters Afterlife, which introduced a new era of proton pack-wielding heroes to the big screen. Rookies now have to take on a greater supernatural threat than ever before, one capable of plunging the world into a second ice age and endangering all of humanity in the process. The new footage offers another glimpse at the ghouls the Spengler family will have to face, though they won't have to enter the fight alone. By the way, Keith saying, yes, I definitely would watch A Monster Calls, but a tough watch. I like tough watches, Keith, so definitely one for me. So, Franco, you've watched the trailer for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. What do you think?
I haven't. By the way, I haven't watched. That's Afterlife, right?
I haven't
the
either.
class.
So that makes two of us.
So I'd like to watch that first. It seems like it's capturing a bit of that magic back. Huh? And it's upping a bit like that teen horror element as well, because seeing ice spikes coming out of the of the ground is not is quite. I was like, sorry, excuse the pun. I was quite chilled there. So,
can I just say, however, Franco, why does the older Ghostbusters look so much better, so much better lit than the new one? That's a fact. So much more cinematic.
There was a video essay. I haven't watched it, but the thumbnail was Aragorn from Lord of the Rings and Spider-Man. It's the Marvel look, I would call it.
The Marvel look.
It's so polished. It's so there's almost no contrast whatsoever, right? Because that's what. Not to mention, it is the digital, while Ghostbuster was filmed in film as well. So you'll see much more contrast. Even the blacks are blacks, you know.
Yeah, and the light. And I saw this posted on Twitter, and I wanted to mention it. There was a person on Twitter, and I agree with them, who said, bring back unnatural lighting. It doesn't matter if the lighting doesn't feel realistic or real.
True.
No one cares. It's a visual medium. Use it. The audio in movies is not realistic. Nobody cares. We are in for entertainment, not for a documentary.
But even this doesn't look realistic whatsoever as far as light. There's much more contrast.
No. But the contrast is not as well done as it is. I mean, this is just one scene. Like
for sure.
The scene where they're in like, look at the difference. Look at how much more dramatic and much.
So I'm being the devil's advocate here, but this was shot at night. The other one is in the morning. It's a
yes, but the effect.
Still, where's the no? This like it doesn't look like they're on a street. They're on a projected.
Exactly. And look at how dramatic that scene is. And listen, I am not a fan of Ghostbusters, by the way. And now we'll get into that argument.
Later on. You said last time it's very it's very dated now.
Very dated. But that's just an issue I have with it. What do you think about? So no Sigourney Weaver in this. Oh, I don't know what she was doing in the original Ghostbusters, anyways, because she's completely wasting her talent in that. I mean, there's Kamel Nanjiani, he's a funny guy. He's a talented actor and very funny guy. Good comedic timing and everything I've watched him in. Patton Oswalt as well. There's a good cast, to be fair. Decent cast. The whole team returning, basically. Again, minus Sigourney Weaver. releases on March 22nd. So quite soon, actually, quite soon.
No, like that scene is the lighting is so different in that scene. Have you noticed that there's much more contrast? Not this one, the one with the ice.
Yeah. That's better. That's better. That's a bit more
Yeah,
dramatic.
this
No,
is great, and this is where I sensed a bit more that teenage horror, because to see like a body crumple into pieces, it's
Haha. Good stuff. Good stuff. But then I mean, I don't know. I haven't watched the Afterlife, Ghostbusters Afterlife, so I can't comment. But obviously, I recently rewatched the first Ghostbusters, and as funny as it is, and as how well done it is, because objectively, it's a well-made movie. It's well shot. The effects were groundbreaking for the time. Honestly, groundbreaking for the time, and seriously, they still hold up today. I'm obviously keeping in mind the period when it was made. But the joke, some of the jokes are so ridiculously sexist that I just couldn't get over it. Like, it felt very, very, very dated in the, not in the visual side of things, because it's beautiful visually, but the script, some of the quotes from it are, oh my god, this is like seriously sexist stuff. I couldn't get over that part, unfortunately, which kind of ruined the rewatch a little bit.
sorry.
But there's that element. However, I do need to watch Ghostbusters Afterlife. I'll find some time this week, and I'll get into it. And I'll get into it and see if I enjoy it. I know it was fans of Ghostbusters loved it. Critics didn't really like it, so it's one of those. Maybe it was made more for the fans rather than for the critics, which is a bad thing for me in this case, because again, I'm not the biggest fan of the original Ghostbusters. But we'll see. So that's Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Let's get into the news. But before we do, people in the chat and people obviously who will watch after as well, let us know in the comment section below your thoughts about all these trailers: Immaculate, Ghostbuster, Tuesday, and Monkey Paw. Let us know.
Monkey Man.
Monkey Paw is the production team. Too many monkeys. Let us know in the comment section below your thoughts about all these movies and what you are anticipating. And with that, let's get into the news. And the first news piece we have to talk about today is coming to us from The Verge, and it gets into Activision Blizzard and Xbox employees being laid off by Microsoft, specifically 1,900 employees. We also saw Mike Ibarra, the legendary Blizzard president, deciding to leave. And the Blizzard game being cancelled. We'll get into all of that. First of all, so Microsoft is laying off 1,900 employees at Activision Blizzard and Xbox this week, while Microsoft is primarily laying off roles at Activision Blizzard. Some Xbox and ZeniMax employees will also be impacted by the cuts. Cuts work out to roughly 8% of the overall Microsoft gaming division that stands at around 22,000 employees in total. The Verge has obtained this memo, which is basically a memo from Phil Spencer, who is the CEO at Microsoft Gaming, which basically obviously confirms this layoff. Alongside the layoffs, Blizzard president Mike Ibarra has decided to leave the company, and he posted this on Twitter. Microsoft plans to name a new Blizzard president next week. We also have Blizzard's chief design officer, Alan Adam, who has been there since basically, yes, he's one of the co-founders, so he's been there since the beginning of Blizzard. Obviously, his influence has been massive on pretty much all of Blizzard's games. Now, the survival game. So apparently, Blizzard had this, not apparently, I've known for quite a long time, they've had this survival game being developed, but it's taken a very, very long time to develop, and apparently Microsoft have shifted the attention away from the survival game, scrapping basically years of development on that game and moving their attention to other new projects that Blizzard has in the early stages of development. That's pretty much all the new news. So the layoffs come the same month as Riot Games, Google, Discord, Twitch, Unity, eBay, and others announced cuts. Which leads
Unity. Sorry, because Unity, those fuckers, ħarġet they tried to swipe off some of the profits that independent game developers were making of their games. And then they cut the employees.
Yep.
Oh yeah, come on. I mean, how much is the CEO making money of these
Unity
companies?
messed up. Unity messed
Oof.
up big
Big
time,
time.
big time, big time.
Many people, in fact, like even I just got Unreal Engine as well. Like Unreal Engine is great, man. It's free, lots of courses you can watch, and also the assets. The assets are amazing over there. So I'm just I haven't started experimenting here and there, but Unreal is amazing. Oh, there's also Godot. These are all game developing programs. Oh yeah, I think this is all like Madonna. This is a problem with. I think they're gonna have to go through the SEC in soon enough in America, because this is like all these mergers are creating monopolies. And,
It is, but it's another issue, which I don't know, Franco. Continue, sorry.
no, say, go ahead.
No, there's an issue that gaming companies in the 2010s invested millions, and basically it became unsustainable. It became unsustainable.
Where did they invest the millions? Because much of the games that are being released, there's also the issue of not having physical copies, because that was also an area where you could make profit of.
Yep. Coincidentally, we got into it last week, Franco.
Sales
On the podcast.
That's one
me
thing.
And Joe.
And again, like all of these games being made fast to flop, except for a few exceptions. You know, like Diablo and Baldur's Gate. You know. Why? What's that? Larian Studios. Oh,
Larian Studios. Larian Studios have a sustainable model. Larian Studios, imagine them, are like A24. They make, and to be fair, Baldur's Gate 3 has been in development for years and years and years. That is a passion project that has been going on. Let me check. How long has
was it
been in development? Let me just
for example, Larian Studios did not introduce pay to win stuff or subscriptions or
6-year development cycle. It took them 6 years to develop that game, to create one of the best games ever made, in my opinion.
Exactly. It shows it takes time to make something that good.
I mean, talking about Activision, we have to talk about the Call of Duty of all this, because, for example, the most recent Call of Duty, which released Call of Duty
Ghost Recon
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I play Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 quite a bit, and it was received to quite a lot of criticism. Why? Because, I mean, look at the videos. Why is it so bad? And so on. Okay. Now, the team behind Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 had pretty much maybe 18 months to develop a whole Call of Duty game with a campaign, with another team, to be fair, working, yes, on zombies, but you also have the multiplayer, and then you have to combine it all with the whole war zone.
I'm sorry, but
18 months, Franco, 18 months to develop all of that. That's ridiculous.
But do you think it's the employees' fault? Let's know. The board of directors. 18 months.
How is that possible? How can you expect? And then obviously there are going to be bugs. Obviously there are going to be issues.
And you have to pay for the DLC. You
have to pay for everything. I mean, everything that comes out, it costs money.
So that's what I'm telling you. Why what all these millions? Where are they going? They're not going to the employees for sure. Now Zgur Lost going for the employees because they're being cut.
But obviously, when you cut employees, that adds another problem then. Because if you have a team, for example, so again, we're talking about Activision here, Microsoft, Activision, Blizzard. I mean, Blizzard have a lot of big games. They've got Overwatch, they've got World of Warcraft, they've got what else do they have? They've got Hearthstone. All those teams have been cut down to pieces, basically. And how can you continue developing a game as big as World of Warcraft if you're constantly cutting at the team?
This reminds me of what Yella said about her experience when when people they started cutting off people, and then all of the other work had to be done by her and the rest of the team.
Yep.
And I think this is also going to be like some kind of being written off as a tax of, but some movie companies were doing this sort of shifty thing.
like Warner Brothers with oh my God, what was that movie that they removed? Like Bad Girl. Like
and then they'll be written off their taxes, so they're basically they're still making money off of something that didn't come out. So I'm most probably this is something totally similar, Jeffrey, that they're going to be written off their taxes.
Yep. So that's news number 1 on gaming. We have another bit of news that I wanted to talk to you about, Franco. This is a very interesting one. Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League is a video game that's coming out very soon, I believe. It's early access period will start to go live around the world late Monday night, so today basically, which means that's when it officially is out, practically speaking. Unfortunately, we won't have a review, and this is IGN speaking, by the way. Unfortunately, we won't have a review of Rocksteady's new game as a service looter shooter for you right away, as codes have not been sent ahead of time. In fact, Warner Brothers Games informed IGN that it had declined to send us codes at all. Now, why have they declined to do this? Basically, when you look at the preview that IGN gave on Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, you will see that they were rather negative on the game. So Warner Brothers decided, since IGN, the guy who previewed it, I saw a post by him, Destin Legary, since he was quite negative in his preview.
But was he objectively negative?
No, I watched it. He was objectively negative. In my opinion, this looks like a terrible game. If I was given the preview copy, and I was the one giving the preview, this looks like an objectively terrible game, in my opinion. Looking at the gameplay, looking at all elements of it. Now, I might be wrong. Maybe it's a good game. But from what I've seen, from the way the UI is so terribly designed.
Even
graphically, it looks awful. Awful. I mean, when you've got, again, video games like God of War Ragnarok, like Alan Wake 2, with such groundbreaking visuals, like Spider-Man 2, such groundbreaking visuals, and then you get this. I'm sorry, and it's another looter shooter. Look at the UI, Franco. Look at that UI. Did you see that UI?
The story.
Did you look at that UI? Where was that scene? Here, you're going to see it in a second. Anyways, the UI in this game looks terrible. Look at how much clutter there is on screen. There is too much.
It's unclear. Yes,
it's not clear at all. It's not clear at all. And then I'll show you a scene from Elden Ring.
But I'm sorry, the map usually doesn't go on. The UI is very strange, and I don't play games. The UI is very strange. I have to say, I don't play
cluttered.
Games.
It's very cluttered.
For example, why is the map at the bottom right corner? Usually, isn't the map at the bottom upper right? Even the ammo and stuff, the ammo should go instead of the map.
Now look at this, Franco. Look at the UI for Elden Ring.
So clean, yeah.
It's a beautiful game. Look at the design, the character design, the lighting. Look at those bloody trees, man. They're so beautiful. The color scheme. It's just a world of difference. Like, no comparison. Like, look at this, man. Look at this. This is stunning. I wasn't the biggest fan of Elden Ring, but the world design and like everything about it was stunning.
It's much more.
So clean, such a clean game. And then you're going to tell me that this is the same thing. This is like comparing Suicide Squad to 2001 Space Odyssey. It's I'm sorry, but it's two completely different mediums basically. Anyways,
it looks like also a ripoff of not Overwatch, Fortnite.
It does. It's clearly ripping off Fortnite. But Franco, to get into the whole point of this, what do you think about Warner Brothers not sending review copies to IGN?
Thin skin. That's all I'm gonna say. Oh yeah, I mean, we're also gonna get this with the Oscar nominations, but this is thin skin. Lala, this looks like a Fortnite.
Mamma mia. Oh my god. This looks so bad. So bad. Like, to be fair, these cutscenes aren't... Oh my god, look at her face. Good god. Like, to be fair, some of these cutscenes aren't... Every time I'm going to say awful, and then something really bad comes up on screen. And it looks really, really bad. But the gameplay, I'm sorry, the gameplay. This is not fun. This does not look anything but fun. This was a good game. Arkham Knight.
Lalo.
Such smooth gameplay.
Go back again at the
What do you want to play? Do you want to play this?
Arkham Knight.
Or do you want to play this?
Look at the design. DOI is so different. The map. Where's the map in there? You know?
The lighting, such an atmospheric game. This was one of the most atmospheric games I've ever played.
Is this Warner as well?
Yes. It's Batman Arkham Knight. And then you see this. I mean, I'm sorry, but it doesn't look good. But it is what it is. That is the gaming world. And that's also, I mean, to be fair, even the movie world, right? That's Hollywood as well, because I know a lot of fair and honest reviewers who don't receive review copies just because they were critical about a previous project by that same team. I'm sorry, but this does not look fun at all. This does not look good from someone who plays Call of Duty all the time, from someone who has played quite a lot of Fortnite as well. I'm sorry, this doesn't look good. What do I want to play? Do I want to play this? Or do I want to go play Elden Ring, play Hogwarts Legacy, play really well designed? I mean, obviously, right? But anyways, so that is, or play Palworld, because that's another fantastic game. Palworld, so fun, man, so fun.
Yeah, okay.
But I think it's time to get into the meat. Why we are all here. And we are all here to talk about...
Hello to everyone watching us right now. Make sure to leave us a comment. And also, any games that we have missed. And would you play Suicide... Gun to your head. Would you play Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League? Or Batman Arkham Knight?
All right. And I'm excited to talk about this now, Franco. So we've got, obviously, the Oscar nominations. I mean, you know how I love the Oscars. You know how I love award season. And we are right in the thick of it. So I'm going to skim through some of them, but I'll obviously focus on the more interesting ones, like original screenplay, for which we have Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Maestro, May December, Past Lives. What do you think?
I told you Maestro is Oscar bait. And again, like adapted screenplay, really. Barbie, like what book is this? Or what else? Zone of Interest is Martin Ami, I know. Poor Things is from a book. Oppenheimer, I know, is from a biography, if I'm not mistaken. and anatomy. This is I'd be very, very, very disappointed if original screenplay is taken by Maestro
No, it's not. No way. No way.
because past lives, or at least Anatomy of a Fall. If I'd go for Anatomy of a Fall. As much
I
as I
would go
love
for
past
Anatomy of a Fall.
lives, as much as I love past lives, Anatomy of a Fall is hopefully is a shoo-in. But if Maestro wins it, I'd be very. What happened?
No. May December is there. All right. No. At least May
Yeah.
December is there. I was like, wait, no, May December is there. If it were up to me, I would go with Anatomy of a Fall in number 1, May December number 2, Holdovers number 3, Past Lives, and then Maestro. If it were up to me, I loved May December. May December could compete with Anatomy of a Fall. For me, it won't.
Okay.
I know. I think Anatomy of a Fall will win this. Because apparently, I mean, it's nominated for Best Picture. So, and I believe it's the only. No, there's Maestro is nominated for Best Picture as well.
As far as I'm concerned, yes.
So I mean, so obviously, clearly, it's between Maestro and Anatomy of a Fall, because it's quite obvious, right? If it's nominated for Best Picture, it's competing for this. If it's not, it's not. But in my opinion, if you had to ask me which is the best written of these movies, I would say Anatomy of a Fall is the best written movie. May December can compete if it were up to me.
I haven't watched May December yet, so we'll see.
So that's original screenplay. Then adapted screenplay. We've got American Fiction, which we can't comment about. That's not released in Malta so far. We've got Barbie. We've got Oppenheimer. We've got Poor Things. And we've got The Zone of Interest, which also hasn't released in Malta.
I haven't seen Zone of Interest, but by the noise that we've been hearing, it seems like it's either it or Poor Things.
Okay, not Oppenheimer.
This is going to be even more controversial. Poor Things edges ahead of Oppenheimer as well, especially.
Interesting.
As much as I liked Oppenheimer, Poor Things it's something so fresh and unique, you know.
Okay.
And Barbie, okay, let me get this out of my chest. Barbie is an.
Let's get into it
movie.
when we come to the category.
Okay.
That's I think the appropriate time to rant about Barbie.
Sure.
With regard to adapted screenplay, I think you know who was being considered for this, Franco, and I know you watched it. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. I know lots of people were saying. Let me look up. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Kelly Freeman Craig was being considered as a possible chance for being nominated for adapted screenplay.
Okay.
I mean, I've only watched 2 here, Barbie and Oppenheimer. Gonna watch Poor Things tomorrow, so I can't really comment about this category without having watched all of them. But obviously, both Oppenheimer and Barbie were, I think, well-written movies. So there's that. Achievement in visual effects, the creator, which I think, in my opinion, should win it.
Oh, no way, Godzilla Minus One.
More than, no, but the visuals in the creator are better than Godzilla Minus One.
Remember, Godzilla Minus One didn't have the budget as...
Yes, but this is like, if you've got... in football, Inter have a bigger budget than Hellas Verona. Doesn't mean that Verona get a
then again, I have a soft spot for Godzilla Minus One.
Yes. So do I. But I think objectively, the creator's visuals are better than Godzilla.
Understand? Yeah, it's understandable because I liked it visually. I really liked the creator. True.
Then Guardians also had very, very, very good visuals.
CGI fuckfest story.
yes and no, but it was a CGI fuckfest that made sense, kind of, right? I mean, you've got the Rocket Raccoon, whole story behind him, very beautiful backstory. But the CGI for Rocket Raccoon was insane. You didn't like Guardians 3?
No, but when you compare to the creator, creator is superior as far
You
as
think the
CGI.
visuals are?
No, but
It's different visuals, so it's hard to compare. Ugh.
I would if you okay, gun to my head is if I had to choose Guardians or creator, I choose creator.
Okay, all right. I think it's between the creator and Guardians, in my opinion, because Mission Impossible had good visuals, but I mean, I don't think it can compete with Guardians, and neither can Napoleon compete with Guardians. As good as the visuals again were in Napoleon, I think it's between Guardians and the creator, and I'm happy to see, however, Godzilla -1 nominated, mind you. But if it were up to me, and thankfully I've watched all these movies, I would say it's really close because Guardians has some fantastic CGI, some fantastic CGI. The creator just felt so natural, though. Like it felt like there was no CGI in the creator.
That's
how good it was.
That's what I mean. That's why because the Guardians, it's a fantasy, but
Yes. It's a fantasy, so it's a different style as well to the CGI. But the creator, it felt like the spaceship was there. It felt like when they shot that laser, and felt like it was really happening, like a Nolan creating a spaceship in space and then shooting the laser. It felt insane. It felt real. It's like it was actually happening. How good the visuals were in the creator. So if I had to choose, I think I agree. I would choose the creator. But again, if Guardians win it, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Achievement in sound. I think we can go through this really quickly. Creator, Maestro, Mission Impossible, Oppenheimer, Zone of Interest. I've heard the sound in Zone of Interest is insane. I've heard the sound design in the Zone of Interest is really good. I think Oppenheimer wins this hands down. What do you think, Franco?
Oppenheimer, because there's Rizzo, there's Gary Rizzo. So
Long lost brother.
Yeah.
I think
in the
Oppenheimer
family,
wins
keeping it in the family.
Nice to see the creator there as well in Achievement in Sound. Best live action short film. I haven't watched any of these, so Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. I mean, that's the only one I've watched, so can't really comment here. However, it was very good, so there's that.
Yeah.
Best animated short film. I don't think you've watched any of these, right, Franco?
None.
Production design. Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things.
Poor Things.
Okay. So
Poor Things.
I haven't watched it, so I can't comment. If it was up to me so far, I'd choose Killers. I think Killers had the best production design from all of these.
Just you wait.
But I haven't watched Poor Things.
Just you wait.
Which would you put as number 2 then after Poor Things, Franco?
Barbie.
I can see Barbie as well.
I have to say Barbie. This in production design, yes, Barbie deserves the second place.
I can see Barbie as well. I having not watched Poor Things, I would say Barbie is the favorite here for production design. But I haven't watched Poor Things.
I look forward for next week's episode after you watch.
Mela, wait, no, Best Motion Picture of the Year is the last one. Mela, Achievement in Music, Fire Inside. I haven't watched Flamin' Hot. I haven't heard the song. I'm Just Ken. It Never Went Away from American Symphony. I haven't watched that either. Wah, oh no. Song for My People. And What Was I Made For? I think from the songs I've heard, What Was I Made For is by far the best song. I think it's a well-made song, very emotional, great emotional ending for Barbie. I think it's well-made song as well. I love Billie Eilish. I think that should win. What do you think, Franco?
Not. I'm neutral about this.
Neutral about it.
Yeah, right. I'm not really.
There's I'm Just Ken as well. It's a fan favorite, right? But I don't think. I mean,
Lallo. And the music, Achievement music. Oh,
I mean, this is Ludwig Göransson all the way. But we've got American Fiction,
Oppenheimer,
Indiana Jones, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. I love John Williams, but I don't know what he's doing here, honestly, because this year we've had some fantastic. Oh yes, at least Killers of the Flower Moon soundtrack is there because that score was so good. Such a good score. I've heard the score for The Boy and the Heron is very good as well. It's a pity that's not nominated. I've heard
it's also a pity there's no Godzilla -1. Eh?
Godzilla -1 had a fantastic score. That's missing there. I don't know. I mean, I love John Williams with all my heart. I adore John Williams.
Keith just said the real snub of the Oscar nominations is whoever lost the place to Indiana Jones and Dial of
Exactly.
Destiny.
Listen, I didn't hate Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I did not hate it at all. I think it's terribly
did we
written
need it?
movie. We
Did we
didn't
need
need it. It's the writing is awful, but it has its fun moments. The soundtrack is, I mean, it's John Williams, but I mean, John Williams has been nominated so many times. Give it to someone, to Godzilla Minus One. Such a good soundtrack, man. Such a good soundtrack. Anyways, achievement in makeup. I think we can skip this, right? I mean, makeup and hairstyling. Best international feature film of the year. I haven't watched Io Capitano. I don't think that's available. Perfect Days is also not available. I believe.
You can find it, Io Capitano, you can find it online.
You can. All right. I'll watch it then, man. Society of the Snow, I loved. Really, really liked it. Teacher's Lounge, I thought was a very, very well-made movie as well. Really, I mean, I watched it with my family, who are all, you know, in education. So it was a really good watch and led to some interesting discussions as well. I think Teacher's Lounge is a fantastic movie. Zone of Interest, I haven't watched. Yes, Franco.
Quick suggestion, because there's a good movie. Maybe we could review it next week. There's a movie out online called, if I'm not mistaken, Radical, which is about a frustrated teacher tries a radical new method to break through his students' apathy and unlock their potential. And it's
nice.
highly rated, very highly rated. And
Mexican?
Yep.
Nice, interesting. This is definitely a good watch for me. Probably will try and watch it with my family.
Nice.
Okay,
I'm gonna check it as well myself. So.
All right. So Radical, we'll check it out. So from the two movies I've watched, because the other three are, as far as I know, are not available. I think they are both well deserving of the win. Society of the Snow and the Teacher's Lounge, two very good movies. Achievement in film editing: Anatomy of a Fall, Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. I'm pretty sure Oppenheimer will win this, but I think Anatomy of a Fall should also, and Killers of the Flower Moon, all three are very. Franco will disagree on the Killers of the Flower Moon editing.
No. As far as the editing goes of Killers of the Flower Moon, I would say it's good editing. It's just Oppenheimer's, but I would say it's between Killers and Oppenheimer. Eh?
Really? Okay. I love the editing in Killers, but I think Oppenheimer is just such a well-edited movie.
The timing, yes.
The timing.
Of Oppenheimer is, yeah.
Pity, it's not ruined, but it's kind of messed up a little bit with the pacing when it's because of the break we get in the middle, the intermission, right? That ruins the editing a little bit. But I mean, objectively, it's such a well-edited movie. So the build-up is such great stuff. Have you watched any of these documentaries, Franco?
I'm interested in seeing that one, The ABCs of Book Banning.
Yes, looks interesting.
I think I might. It's 20 Days in Mariupol. I saw.
You've watched it?
I haven't seen it.
Yes, I've been waiting to watch it for a very long time.
And Eternal Memory, someone mentioned it was very. I saw some noise about it as well.
Okay, all right. Interesting. Achievement in directing. This is a tough one. Anatomy of a Fall, Justine Triet. Killers of the Flower Moon, Martin Scorsese. Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan. Poor Things, Yorgos Lanthimos. The Zone of Interest, Jonathan Glazer. I've been hearing, I mean, obviously, I think Nolan is the favorite here, but I've been hearing more and more people talking about Yorgos Lanthimos as a possible upset. What do you think, Franco? You've watched
upset, as in...
upsetting Nolan, because right now Nolan is the big favorite, right?
You watch Poor Things tomorrow, and then we discuss. Yes. that's the best thing I can tell you.
I mean, Killers of the Flower Moon, objectively, is a fantastically directed movie. No, Franco, I mentioned Killers and Scorsese. You're going to die on me. And Justine Triet's direction in Anatomy of a Fall is
maybe that might be an upset, because that was very well directed as well.
And listen, I love Oppenheimer with all my heart. I know a lot of people would be very, very upset if they gave the win to Justine Triet, but I think it would be very well deserved. Very well deserved. Costumes, Barbie, Napoleon, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. I've been hearing good stuff about the Poor Things costumes. But probably Barbie will take it, right? I mean, the costumes in Barbie were really good, really well designed.
No, wait, even Napoleon. Napoleon.
Yes.
Killers as well.
Killers as well. Yeah, it's a tough one, this one, huh?
Tough one
to choose.
Oppenheimer is a bit. Oppenheimer, to be honest, is a bit out of place there.
Yes. Maybe because the costumes are not, in your face like Barbie or like maybe Poor Things, and obviously Napoleon is it's a central part, the whole period piece element of it. Achievement in cinematography, and I'm happy to see El Conde there. I had reviewed it quite a while ago. Excellent cinematography in El Conde. Killers of the Flower Moon. Rodrigo Prieto, Maestro, Oppenheimer, and Rodrigo Prieto also made Barbie, right? The cinematography of Barbie, I believe. Yeah,
it's
that's a multi-talented guy. Maestro. To be fair, the cinematography was not bad in Maestro, but I think there are better shot movies than Maestro. Than that. What do you think, Franco? If it were up to you, who would you pick from that?
Malakit said Oppenheimer may lose Best Picture, but surely not Best Director. Could be. No, it's strange. It's strange to lose Best Picture and not get Best Director. But this is the Oscars. I mean, overrated, and these things happen.
I mean, Ben Affleck. No, Ben Affleck had what movie was it where he had won? Where his movie had won
Argo?
Best Picture. And
Argo.
Wasn't even nominated for best. Was that Argo?
I think Argo. I don't know if it was Argo or Good Will Hunting.
No, that was 2013. 2013. Argo. Yes, Argo. He had won Best Picture. His movie Argo had won Best Picture, and he wasn't even nominated for Best Director. That's crazy. Crazy. I don't know what happened there. Must have been a mistake.
Achievement cinematography. I haven't watched. Listen, but Poor Things. You have to watch Poor Things, man.
I have to watch Poor Things.
Because cinematography is like I really like the way Yorgos Lanthimos, together with his cinematographer, uses wide-angle lenses. Amazing use of them, and it's so many interesting compositions as well.
I'll let you know what they left out of this, and they put in Maestro and Madonni. They left out Saltburn. That was such a well-shot movie.
That was well shot, man. True. That was very well shot.
How is Maestro there instead of? Oh my God, that's so
You're
upsetting.
right, huh?
Saltburn was beautifully shot. I would say Oppenheimer takes this. I think Hoyte van Hoytema is quite a big favorite for this. Probably his biggest competition is Killers with Rodrigo Prieto. Possibly also Poor Things.
Because you haven't seen Poor Things, bro.
No, again, I haven't watched Poor Things, so I can't comment about it. Best
there is Boy and the Heron.
Boy and the Heron is there and probably will win Best Animated Feature Film as well. Elemental, which I really liked. Nimona, which I loved. I really liked Nimona. I'm very happy to see it there. Robot Dreams, which looks interesting and I haven't watched. We'll definitely check it out. And Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Now, this is basically a battle between Spider-Man and the Boy and the Heron. I know a lot of Americans will be upset if Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse doesn't win this, but man, it's Miyazaki, and Miyazaki is an Oscar darling.
But Robot Dreams, I've heard some good stuff about it as well.
Yes. Apparently, I mean, I watched the trailer of Robot Dreams and putting Robot Dreams up against Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, the styles are so different, so contrasting.
No, but it's not just about the style. Because I think the Robot Dream story is because Across the Spider-Verse, remember that last scene, Madonna.
The ending, yes. The ending didn't ruin it, but I hate those kinds of endings. Especially when you know your movie is not coming out in quite a while as well. Because if you had like a Rebel Moon, where the movie's coming out in 3 months' time. Maybe you can forgive that.
Mela, Rebel Moon fejn u għawek? There's no...
Where's Rebel Moon? No, not in CGI and cinematography and color grading. They should make an Oscar just for color grading to award to Rebel Moon.
No. Best Oscar for slow motions.
Slow motion. Mela, and now the actors. And no, not here, Franco. Wait, just a bit more. Performance by an actress in a supporting role. We've got Emily Blunt in Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks in The Color Purple, America Ferrera in Barbie, Jodie Foster in Niad, and Davine Joy Randolph in The Holdovers. That's it.
Madonna, I have to watch The Holdovers, man. I've been through it, but because I keep waiting for my father, because we usually watch together. That's why. I haven't watched Niad yet. Do you feel America Ferrara? I mean, she wasn't bad in it.
I have no idea what America Ferrera is doing there. Like, I have absolutely no idea what she's doing there.
What do you think of Davine Joy Randolph, though?
She's very good. I think she's the favorite to win this by far, and she should win it. I think she is excellent in The Holdovers. She's one of the best elements of that.
Because even though I haven't watched it, from the small that I can gather, is Davine J. Randolph seems like quite a character in the Holdover. So
she is. I just don't get what America Ferrera is doing in this.
For the monologue.
But the monologue is the worst part of Barbie, in my opinion. So I mean, there's that.
It's really fun. It's really funny because we enjoyed Barbie. But anyway,
Barbie's my number 5 of the list of 2023. I love Barbie, but for every actor they could have chosen, in my opinion, America Ferrera had the weakest performance. I would have been fine with let's get into it in a bit. Because now I have performance by here we are. So I would have been fine if Margot Robbie was on this list, because I think she was very good.
No.
She was very good.
No, man.
Annette Bening, I haven't watched it yet, but it seems like such a by-the-books movie. It feels like, let's just have a Netflix movie here. Lily Glasgow, let me go through the list. Annette Bening in Niad. This is for performance by an actress in a leading role. Lily Gladstone in Killers of the Flower Moon. Sandra Huller in Anatomy of a Fall. Carey Mulligan in Maestro, and Emma Stone in Poor Things. Go for it.
Lily Gladstone is there. So don't get me wrong, because she's the first Native American woman to be nominated as an Oscar.
She was very, very, very.
She was good. She was good. Even though her role was not very, to be honest, very in the background, but she'll get it. But there's great competition with Sandra Huller, Carey Mulligan in Maestro, and Emma Stone. Emma Stone, again, I cannot. I'll biting my tongue big time. If Lily Gladstone takes it, I'm happy. I mean, she does deserve it. But there's good competition with Sandra Huller. Great competition. Carey Mulligan, Emma Stone. I mean, it's going to be a close one.
In my opinion, Sandra Huller was excellent. In my opinion, if I had to choose so far from the ones I've watched, I would say I really like Carey Mulligan and Maestro as much as I would say Sandra Huller if it were up to me so far, having not watched Poor Things. And I have to watch Niad. I mean, it looks so by the book. I don't know. Probably I'll watch it and like it. I don't think I'm going to hate Niad. Actually, I think
it's just something you watch. Like, okay, it was nice.
I have to check it out. So because and we're talking about two very talented actresses. Jodie Foster.
Oscars are overrated. Bite me. Don't at me, viewers and chat. Oscars overrated.
Obviously, we've got the whole Margot Robbie of it all, right, Franco? Here, because that is the big one, right? The big one.
Later on.
I think this is the moment now to talk about it, though, because this is performance by an actress in a leading role.
Look, Barbie is not an Oscar movie. Barbie is only there because it made the money, because there's Mattel involved. So most probably behind the scenes there was some great lobbying from the company. Um, uh, and this whole idea because Margot Robbie and the fact that Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie not being nominated is the thing of the movie. I'm sorry. So Lily Gladstone being the first Native American woman then is like she doesn't deserve to be there, or Sandra Holler.
Sandra Holler, Justine Triet. No one's talking about Justine Triet, French
Exactly, just
director.
Celine Song as well. Celine Song for Past Lives. For example, Greta Lee għalx mhux hemm qiegħda, Greta Lee was quite
Yes,
good, eh?
I was going to mention it. Greta Lee, I'm surprised she's not there. Huh? Because in direct, I mean, let's be honest, Franco now, let's go back a bit to directing. Who are you going to remove here for Greta Gerwig? And Greta Gerwig is
No, come
a
on.
bloody great director. I've loved every single one of her movies. But objectively, Barbie, I think, is the least well directed from one of her movies. I've watched everything from Greta Gerwig.
It's one of the most accessible Greta Gerwig's movie. I
It
would
is
say.
accessible, yes. But having not watched The Zone of Interest, so we can't comment about that because I'm not. I've seen lots of people saying, "What is The Zone of Interest doing there?" Having not even watched it. How the hell can you comment about a movie you haven't watched? Like that is just one of the things that really blows my mind. Where you have a person who watched two movies whole year, watched Oppenheimer and watched Barbie. Oppenheimer is the best movie. Barbie should be nominated for everything.
Oosh.
And then they haven't watched The Zone of Interest, they haven't watched Poor Things, they haven't watched Killers of the Flower Moon, they haven't watched Anatomy of a Fall. This French movie and Zone of Interest, what are these movies? But Barbie, I have to watch them to be able to comment about them. I'm sorry. Like, I haven't watched Zone of Interest, so I can't comment about it. So obviously, that, for me, is cut out, obviously, because it's not available in Malta. I haven't watched Poor Things, so again, I can't comment about Yorgos Lanthimos, but I've watched, I mean, pretty much all of his movies, minus Dogtooth, so I know more or less his style, and I've loved his direction in every single one of his movies. Christopher Nolan, Martin Scorsese, and Justine Triet. No way you're cutting them out for Greta Gerwig. No way. Not a chance.
And not, at least not for Barbie, or because
And
if
not
it
for
was
Barbie.
if it was for Little Women or
For Little
what?
Women.
Or
maybe.
Lady Bird
Or Lady Bird. For Little Women or Lady Bird would take Killers of the Flower Moon.
And I'm sorry
Oh.
that the Oscars are still considered some cultural landmark, like it's just a token of Jack
Yes.
and again. So okay, so Lily Gladstone shouldn't be there. What's her name? Davin J. Randolph shouldn't be there, allura.
Yep.
And again, Margot Robbie is nominated as a producer for
Yes,
Barbie. So
yes.
and this whole idea of feminism, it's a toy movie. It's a toy movie. That is
Mattel.
feminism.
It's produced by fucking Mattel.
It's feminism 101. The message is nice, don't get me wrong. And I said,
100%.
the message is nice, it's very enjoyable, but it's not an Oscar movie. If we're really mentioning something Oscar, even though, like I said, even though I did not like that much Killers of the Flower Moon, it's much more of an Oscar movie.
And I mean, Ara, it's not much of an Oscar movie in certain elements. Like, for example, I still think it's a well-directed movie. I just think there are better directed movies this year than Barbie. I think there are at least 4 or 5. For example, even Saltburn, in my opinion, is a better directed movie, in my opinion, than Barbie. I enjoyed Barbie more than Saltburn, but I think Saltburn is a more well-directed movie than Barbie. Oppenheimer, Killers, Rebel Moon are all better directed movies. So I don't see the whole controversy of it all. But anyways,
and honestly, Ryan Gosling does deserve a nomination,
course he
because it was very. It's again, this is not. If you think a feminist movie is Barbie, I'm sorry, you have to watch Poor Things. Poor Things is even thousands of years ahead as a feminist movie.
or watch every other Greta Gerwig movie.
Oh, Little Women, Lady
Little
Bird.
Women, so amazing, such an amazing movie. Lady Birds, amazing movie. Both 5 out of 5 for me. Watch those. Anyways, performance by an actor in a supporting role. Sterling K. Brown in American Fiction, which will release in Malta, I believe,
Never.
quite soon. Maybe, maybe not. Robert De Niro, Killers of the Flower Moon. Robert
Yep.
Downey Jr. in Oppenheimer. Ryan Gosling in Barbie. Mark Ruffalo in Poor Things. I'm so happy we got Robert De Niro correct here. I was one of the few who, in my review, was saying I think Robert De Niro has the best performance in this movie by far. Everyone else was talking about Leonardo DiCaprio and Lily Gladstone. I was one of the few who mentioned and focused a lot on Robert De Niro. And he's the one nominated.
Hold on. I did mention Robert De Niro.
Yes, as in us as a podcast in general.
Okay.
Sorry,
okay.
I said me, but as a podcast in general. We were one of the few reviewers, and after we did the podcast, I checked a lot of reviews. Very few people focused on how good Robert De Niro was. Everyone took it for granted.
No, very, like,
Excellent.
very toned, like, very, not, how would you say?
Evil, cruel.
Emma, not cartoonishly evil.
Not cartoonishly
like,
evil.
So nuanced.
Cynical.
Like imagine you made a cake of evil and all the ingredients match.
But still very charismatic. Still very charismatic. So yeah, so that's a good thing. I still think Robert Downey Jr. is the favorite here for Oppenheimer. He's fantastic.
I would love to see Downey Jr. getting it.
I would. Everyone loves Robert Downey Jr. He's a great guy. Seems to be like a great guy. Great comeback story. It's perfect for the Oscars, let's be honest. As much as I would enjoy seeing Ryan Gosling win it for Barbie as well. I think Ryan Gosling was also very good. But let's be honest, Robert Downey Jr.'s performance in Oppenheimer was out of this world.
Just minuta, ma anka now I'm a bit in doubt. As enjoyable as Ryan Gosling was in the Oscars. Should he be there, Emma?
Should he be there? Charles Melton should be there for May December.
For example, you said it, yes.
If you were to tell me what is the biggest snub of them all, I would say Charles Melton is the biggest snub because he was out of this world good in May. I thought he would be the favorite, not to be nominated. I thought he would be the favorite. When I reviewed May December, I said, I think he's the biggest competition for Robert Downey Jr. And he's not even nominated. That, for me, is a snub. That is a big snub.
You watched Priscilla? Oh.
Yes.
Oh, Jacob Elordi should have got.
No. He's good, but he's not great. He's good. He's good. Don't get me wrong. Daddy Fury, he's good. Who else could we have had in this? DiCaprio. DiCaprio, maybe you can say. But I mean, he was good. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he was that good, however, because lots of people are talking about DiCaprio. No one's talking about Charles Melton. He should be there in this list. I think May December has been one of the biggest unfortunate losers in the Oscar nominations. And to conclude, performance by an actor in a leading role, we've got Bradley Cooper in Maestro, Colman Domingo in Rustin, Paul Giamatti in The Holdovers, Cillian Murphy in Oppenheimer, and Jeffrey Wright in American Fiction. Haven't watched American Fiction yet, not available in Malta. So I think if it were up to me, it would be between Paul Giamatti and Cillian Murphy. And I would say,
but Bradley Cooper will get it.
No, he's not. He's not going to. No way.
Bradley Cooper will get it.
No. I think Paul Giamatti will win it.
As much as you're right for who should deserves it, like between Cillian Murphy and Giamatti, Bradley Cooper will get it.
No, I think Cillian Murphy should. If it were up to me, I would choose Cillian Murphy. Paul Giamatti was fantastic. It's like, I think, in my opinion, Cillian Murphy just edges it a bit just by how really nuanced his performance was as Robert Oppenheimer. If Bradley Cooper wins it, I'll never watch another Oscar in my life. I'm saying it here and now. If Bradley Cooper wins this, I'm never watching another Oscar in my life. Never. We're not even going to cover it. No, we have to cover it. Dominic Sessa in Best Supporting Actor. That is another snub because Dominic Sessav, that's a great mention, Keith.
Dominic Sessa.
He was in the holdovers. He's the student.
Lallu, mela.
He was so good. Me and my dad, when we finished that movie, we were like, who the hell was this guy? And that was his first performance. But Dominic Sessa in the holdovers was fucking great. Really good performance. That is another snub. But that's it with regard to nominations for the 96th Academy Awards. Here at the Adler Podcast, we will be having our own awards, which will be basically that week, the week before, obviously, the 96 Oscars. So that will be right before Sunday, March 10th. So it'll be that week. So obviously, stay tuned for our own awards. Those matter more than the Oscars, of course. And we'll get into the whole awards then. For now, that's it with regard to the news. Thank you so much to our viewers and listeners. We're now going to get into the reviews. Franco, are you going to head off?
Yeah, and make sure to keep Andrea company, listen to his reviews. Usually they're wrong, especially about Killers of the Flower Moon. Rebel, the only moon that should be mentioned is Rebel Moon. No, I'm just no, just joking. So, guys, enjoy the reviews. Thank you for watching us. Stay tuned for more, and I'm looking forward to what you think. Not now. Tomorrow. I'll be running around Valletta, so if you meet me, stop me and tell me, Madonna, how...
Bomba, but I'll bring your present, man, Franco.
Oh, type, all right.
I'll bring your
so
present.
just call me.
Yes, we'll do. Type.
Adios, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Ciao, Franco.
See you.
Ciao. All right, so let's get into the reviews. And as I said, I've got one series to review, and that is Masters of the Air, which released on Apple TV+. We've got The Color Purple, we've got One Life, and we've got Mean Girls to talk about. So let's get into the first movie, which is Masters of the Air. Now, Masters of the Air, let me bring it up on the screen. So Masters of the Air tells the tale of the Bloody 100, who I did some research about them. They are a legendary company, basically, well known for how unfortunate they were. And so far, from just 2 episodes, you could really tell these guys are really unlucky. Anyway, so anyone with any interest in World War II history will know the great losses that the Bloody 100 faced in almost 2 years in action. They had a total loss of 732 airmen and 177 aircraft. That's incredible, really insane. Anyways, so Band of Brothers and The Pacific are 2 of my all-time favorite series. So finding out that the production team, obviously we have Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg behind the production. It was great to hear. Production on this show has been going on for years. I believe it's since 2013. And it was great to see. It's great to see that it's finally released. So I was really excited to check it out. Obviously, lots of good stuff about it. We've got the cast with stars like Austin Butler, Callum Turner, Barry Keoghan. Also, it was being released on Apple TV Plus. We have had a truly impressive run of successful series in the past few years with Ted Lasso, Severance, Blackbird, and Foundation. I know is quite liked as well. Lots of very good series there on Apple TV Plus. So there is that as well, and the budget. Of course, massive budget. When I found out that budget for Masters of the Air was around $300 million, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be so epic. Anyways, so Masters of the Air, is it good? Is it bad? I think so far from the first 2 episodes, I'm come out very positive, but there are some small tidbits I would like to mention as well. First of all, the production design of it all is great. I think that honestly, every single cent of that 250 to 300 million budget can be seen on screen. Pristine visuals. Now, when I say pristine visuals, I mean by the costumes. I mean by how gritty and grimy it all feels. A small issue I have is with some of the CGI. Now, I kept on thinking of something like Top Gun Maverick, for example, where the combination of CGI and practical effects, the real flying, was done really well. Right? And obviously, I understand that CGI has to be used. There's no way you can shoot this without using CGI. It just doesn't feel as seamless as it did in Top Gun Maverick. Sometimes you have some very video gamey-like effects in Masters of the Air, which is a bit of an issue. Still, I think it's a great-looking series. Whenever you have the practical effects on show, it's great. It's really, really great. And not all the CGI effects are bad, mind you. Most are great. There are one or two moments, however, where you can really tell, however. Battle sequences have been quite epic. I think the one, especially in episode 1, was great. Great tension, really well shot, so really well done. And you can tell you have a very talented director in Keri Joji Fukunaga behind the camera here. Puts you right into the thick of the action. I mentioned the cast before, and thankfully the performances have so far been very solid, with the standout for me being Callum Turner. I think Callum Turner has been great so far. Great personality and great screen presence. Barry Keoghan and Austin Butler, not bad, not amazing. Austin Butler is still doing his Elvis Elvis voice. However, I think it's more the screenplay which is holding them back, which is, in my opinion, the weakest element of this show so far. So obviously here we're still 2 episodes in. I will give a full review with the rating at the end of the series. But so far, I think the screenplay for Masters of the Air is a bit messy, especially in the opening episode, which I really liked, mind you. I really, really liked the opening episode. But I have to say that some of the introductions to the characters were quite messy. And I thought that the overall development of the narrative felt a bit underwhelming at times, some of the dialogue. So anytime they're up in the skies, great stuff, great tension. Even the performances are great. You can tell how scared some of them are, the pressure of it all, right? That's great stuff. But wherever they're down on the ground, I did have some issues. There's obviously, like I mentioned in my written review, sometimes it feels like there's a bit of lack of gravitas to what is going on. Lots of focus on the partying elements of it and like the celebrations. And yes, I know that's an important part, the whole drinking of it all. But I'm missing out on those, like, quiet moments, those quiet chats between the protagonists, who are obviously then going out on those really dangerous missions. And this is a big thing for me, because I think all the best war movies and all the best war series have that, create that perfect dichotomy, I like to call it, between, the massive moments of tension, of war, between those quieter moments where the more personal moments between the protagonists. Missing that so far. And I think the few scenes we had were not the greatest. Apart from that, however, I think so far the first 2 episodes of Masters of the Air have been very solid episodes. I don't give a rating at the start of a show. I give it only at the end. So, but overall, I'm excited to see what comes next for episode 3 of Masters of the Air, which comes out on Friday on Apple TV Plus. So I'm looking forward to that. And I hope you are looking forward to the end of season review for Masters of the Air. So that is my first review done and dusted. And with that, we will move on to The Color Purple and get into my thoughts about that movie. Let me just check that The Color Purple is on screen. Yes, and we can move on to The Color Purple, which finally is available here in Malta and is coming out in cinemas this week. And these are my thoughts. So obviously The Color Purple is, well, we've got lots of adaptations of The Color Purple. Obviously it all stems from the Pulitzer Prize winning novel of the same name by Stephen. Obviously then that book was adapted by Steven Spielberg. That movie, which is the 1985, The Color Purple, let me see if I can bring it up onto screen. That movie was quite a controversial release. Now, obviously, it was nominated for 11 Academy Awards without winning one, which I believe is tied for the record. However, it is mostly remembered when you look it up and look at the discourse about it. It's actually mostly remembered for the alleged stereotypical portrayal of black people, specifically black men in the movie. Now, 38 years later, Franco asked the question. I'm going to ask the question as well. Do we need another adaptation of The Color Purple? Ooh, that's a tough question. That's a very, very tough question. In my opinion, no, we didn't need it. But for what it's worth, I think it is a fine adaptation. So let's get into it. I went into it with an open mind. I haven't watched the Steven Spielberg version. I haven't read the book, and I haven't watched the Broadway musical version of it all. So obviously, for me, this was my introduction to the story of The Color Purple. And overall, I think it's a decent movie. It's a fun watch. Thankfully, it's based on the Broadway production of the same name, because the musical elements in The Color Purple, and you're going to hear me say this another time today in my review, the musical elements of The Color Purple were also its strongest moments. Now, The Color Purple is based on a very hard-hitting novel, which obviously tackles very serious, very heavy themes like sexual abuse, like racism, gender roles, and gender-based violence. We've got, obviously, lots of heavy themes, right? Now, this has been adapted into a musical, which obviously then leads one to think that it's going to try and keep the tone a bit lighter, and that it does. However, I really did enjoy the musical sequences in this movie. The singing is very, very good. I think stars like Taraji P. Henson, for example, Daniel Brooks, we've got Coleman Domingo, Fantasia Barrino in her film debut, all have divine voices. But just as good is the dancing choreography. And again, this is not the last time you're going to hear me say this today, because the dancing choreography was really good. For example, there's one particular scene for a song called Push the Button with Taraji P. Henson, makes this iconic entrance. You can see it in the trailer as well. And the whole sequence just had me glued to the screen. It was really impressively done. The whole choreography, the lighting, the camera work, the singing, all really, really well done. Now, unfortunately, when the movie does not portray any singing or dancing on screen, that's where you can feel a bit of a drop in quality, right? Now, performances are all still very good, don't get me wrong. And I have to also praise, before I get into my big negative of this movie, the overall production design, which is really well done. Shot on location. I think there was a decent budget behind this because it looks good, really well shot, lighting, production design, all very, very good. But for a 2-hour and 20-minute movie, The Color Purple, yes, has a very, very, very long story to tell. And sometimes the script just bulks underneath the whole weight of the whole story, weight of the heavy themes. This is especially because the movie has some very tonally jarring moments. Listen, you're portraying very heavy themes, like I've already said: sexual assault, we've got rape, we've got gender-based violence, many other heavy, heavy themes, racism, which come into play. And then you've got the protagonists and the characters singing and dancing. Some of the moments, some of the transitions just did not work for me at all. And then there's also the fact that sometimes the action which was going on screen just wasn't as interesting as the dancing and the musical sequences. Just not as interesting, which is a pity. Still, overall, I think it's well worth checking out The Color Purple just for the musical sequences, which are great. And don't get me wrong, I don't think the rest of the movie is bad anyway. I still think it's decent watch. But obviously just not as good as those magnificent musical sequences which were in this movie. And they really are magnificent. Everything about them is great. Beautifully shot, great voice. So I really recommend checking this out in the cinemas, because you want to watch this on a big screen with a very good sound system. Overall, my rating for The Color Purple, I would say it's a well-directed movie by Blitz Bazaule. It's an emotionally resonant tale well worth watching. I would say I would be between a 3 and a 3.5. I think I would move more towards a 3.5. I'm quite positive on The Color Purple. So 3.5 out of 5 for The Color Purple. Make sure to check it out in the cinemas this coming week. So that is The Color Purple. Next movie I have to review is One Life, which I watched yesterday at Eden. And this is a very, very, very powerful movie. So, One Life is a British drama film directed by James Hawes. James Hawes, who I don't know if I watched any of his other stuff. He's directed some of the episodes of Black Mirror. He's a director on Slow Horses. So he's done lots of shows, apparently. Raised by Wolves, which I watched as well. Very good. Snowpiercer, which I watched. Very good series as well. The Alienist, which I watched. Very good stuff as well. So a lot of the stuff I've watched from him has been very good. And it shows because I think One Life is a very well-directed movie. Anyways, so let's get into it. Obviously, One Life is based on the true story of British humanitarian Sir Nicholas Winton, as he looks back on his past efforts to help groups of Jewish children in German-occupied Czechoslovakia to hide and flee in 1938-1939, just before the beginning of World War II. And my thoughts on it, obviously, the cast is insane. We've got Anthony Hopkins and Johnny Flynn, who portray the older and younger Sir Nicholas. We've got Lena Olin, Romola Garai, Alex Sharp, Jonathan Pryce, Helena Bonham Carter. So a fantastic supporting cast there as well, behind Anthony Hopkins and Johnny Flynn. Now, to be clear, the story, I was well aware of the story behind it all. I had actually watched the episode, the famous episode called, what was the episode called? Oh my God, I forgot the episode that's portrayed. Anyways, the very famous episode where Sir Nicholas Winton meets all the people he had saved, or at least some of the people he had saved, of course. And the story of Sir Nicholas Winton is truly a remarkable tale of dogged determination. He's a man from a different era, a man from a different time, a true gentleman, true hero of the people. He's the kind of person who can never rest, knowing that people were suffering, and he gave his everything and more to try and save as many kids from Czechoslovakia as he could before the invasion of the Nazis. So the real story itself is a truly remarkable tale. Now, but obviously that leads me then to the movie. Now, the movie itself is, I would say, quite by the books, right? It's quite a by the books telling of an extraordinary story. Like, think a BBC film portraying this wonderful, wonderful man. And here you're going to get exactly that. But I think it still does a decent job in filling in the audience with the process by which Sir Nicholas Winton had to go through to get kids out of Prague and into Britain. Obviously, faced many, many difficulties, which are very well portrayed, I think, in the movie. It's emotional. Guys, this is emotional stuff. This is a truly emotional movie. The final 30 minutes had the whole audience in the cinema bawling. Every scene with Anthony Hopkins had people sniffling. Everyone's like, right? Everyone was crying. Basically, everyone was crying. In the final 30 minutes, they're really emotionally resonant scenes. And honestly, even I was getting quite emotional watching this movie. Also, thanks to a great performance, of course, by Anthony Hopkins. I thought Anthony Hopkins was fantastic, but a very understated performance, of course, portraying the role he was in, right? In a very understated fashion. Anthony Hopkins really understood who was Sir Nicholas Winton, the kind of guy who would avoid the press when possible, hell-bent on helping as many people as possible. I also have to praise Johnny Flynn, who was also very good in his role as the younger Sir Nicholas Winton. Fantastic performance also by Johnny Flynn. Now, the cast themselves do a very good job. However, I think the movie itself, especially when folks, and I feel like I'm repeating this a lot today, I think the screenplay is a bit messy here and there. Obviously, we've got the two depictions, right? So the movie is basically split up into two portrayals. One depiction of Sir Winton is in 1938, where you have obviously Johnny Flynn there, showcasing all the horrors prior to the war. The other portrayal is that in 1987, where we've got Sir Anthony Hopkins as the older Winton at home in Maidenhead with his wife, Greta. Now, don't get me wrong, both portrayals are decent, quite good. But one of the issues I had, one of the big issues I had with the screenplay in this movie is that I know very well, I know very, very, very well the kind of difficulties Sir Winton faced trying to get the children to enter Britain, all the bureaucratic systems that opposed him. And I do feel like that was severely underwritten here. I wish the movie focused more on the bureaucratic difficulties Sir Winton faced, because it was an impossible task, basically. Keith saying, with the father, and now One Life, Anthony Hopkins is delivering some of his best performances in years. I agree, Keith, completely. By the way, Keith, did you watch One Life? What do you think about it? I think Anthony Hopkins was absolutely fantastic. I do feel, however, that the screenplay is lacking a little bit again in some of the elements, in especially focusing on that element, right? The difficulties that Sir Winton faced are just not portrayed enough in this movie. Helena Bonham Carter was very good. I was going to forget to mention her. She was fantastic as Sir Winton's mother, as Sir Winton's mother. Listen, this movie breaks no new cinematic ground, but still, thanks to a emotionally powerful performance by Anthony Hopkins, I think One Life is truly elevated into a very good movie. I wouldn't say great movie, but a very good movie, very emotionally powerful performance there, very emotionally resonant movie. And overall, I think it's a one you have to watch just because of the subject matter being tackled in it. So overall, I give One Life also a 3.5 out of 5, and I definitely recommend you check it out. But take some tissues with you because you're going to cry. And that is my review for One Life. Final review is for Mean Girls, which I'm going to bring on the screen right now. Obviously, we're talking about the 2024 Mean Girls. When we mention Mean Girls, one cannot not remember the 2004 comedy film by the same name. Of course, apparently, I did not know this, but doing some research, I found this out. That movie, the 2004 movie, was based on Rosalind Wiseman's 2002 book, Queen Bees and Wannabes. I had no idea that existed, but apparently it is based on that. And so Mean Girls is obviously a musical teen comedy film. It's directed by Samantha Jane and Arturo Perez Jr., both in their feature directorial debuts. Now, obviously, just like the 2004 film, the screenplay is written by Tina Fey. And however, this one is not really, kind of based on 2004 comedy film, but it's more based on the Broadway musical of the same name. By the way, Keith in the chat saying, yes, I watched it and agree with you that it was standard. I still really liked it. Yes, a very standard film, Keith. But sometimes, standard is all you need, right? When it comes to these kind of like really, really insane stories, like just seeing what Sir Nicholas had to go through, Sir Nicholas Winton had to go through. Just incredible stuff. Sometimes all you need is like a standard drama, standard British drama. And then it does the job, and it does the job very well. So back to Mean Girls. Obviously, the story of Mean Girls is based on new student Katie Heron, who is welcomed into the top of the social food chain by the elite group of popular girls called the Plastics, ruled by the conniving Queen Bee Regina George and her minions Gretchen and Karen. However, when Katie makes the major misstep of falling for Regina's ex-boyfriend Aaron Samuels, she finds herself prey in Regina's crosshairs as Katie sets to take down the group's apex predator. With the help of her outcast friends Janice and Damien, she must learn how to stay true to herself while navigating the most cutthroat jungle of all, high school. Now, I asked this question with regard to Color Purple, and I'm going to ask it here again. Did we need a new Mean Girls? Basically almost 22 years later. No, 20 years later. 20 years later, that's 2004. 20 years later, did we need a new Mean Girls? Not really, but I'm not complaining because I still had a fun time at the cinema. I mean, let's be clear, this movie clearly was not made for someone like me. Now, it's a fun watch, but as a movie, as a critic, I have to say, I believe it was a mixed bag. So let's get into it. First of all, I think the performances by the plastics was great. Really well cast. Impressed by the casting there. First of all, I have to mention Regina George, portrayed by Renee Rapp, who gives a tonally perfect performance. She's a great singer, first of all, and her main song, which is a recurring theme throughout the movie, is very memorable. Still humming it to this day, in fact. Very charismatic. She really dominates the screen. So really well done. I think she was probably I would say, don't know if she was my favorite performance in the movie, but it's a very good performance by Renee Rapp. Very charismatic, completely dominates the screen, which is what you need out of someone portraying Regina George, right? So very pleased to say that she was great. Baby Wood as Gretchen. Her character is, I would say, given the short end of the stick here when compared to the original, right? But I think she still gives quite a complex performance, which really fits well with her role. She looks the part, definitely looks the part. And I think she does a good job as well. Karen with Avantika, because the V is pronounced as a W, Avantika. I thought Karen was a standout. She is so funny. Every moment she's on screen, the audience was laughing. Great comedic timing. Has one of the most standout songs as well. As I thought the Halloween song she was in was really well done. It was a great song. Again, another very memorable song. Very funny song as well. So she's great. Avantika as Karen was great. Other positives, I thought even Damien and Janice, we had Jaquel Spivey as Damien and Auli Carvalho, I would say, as Janice were also very good. Good performances there as well. Great. So overall, great casting, apart from one or two, which I'll talk about in a bit. Tricienne in the chat saying really not needed, and it will definitely not replace the original. However, it was still a fun one-off watch. I agree, Tricienne. I agree completely. Not needed at all, honestly. Not needed at all. But it's still a fun watch, in my opinion. Still a fun watch, one you can enjoy, you know. And I did enjoy it, honestly. I would be lying if I said I didn't enjoy it. Now, other positives with regard to Mean Girls, I would say the musical sequences were very well done, especially the choreography was very good. Some complex choreography as well. Sometimes you've got scenes where you've got tons of people on screen. And all the choreography worked really well. I thought the overall choreography was really well done. And the dancing sequences, very well done. So I really enjoyed the dancing sequences. The musical sequences were pretty much my favorite part of the movie, just like in The Color Purple. Which leads me then to the camera work, because I was also impressed by a lot of long takes, and not just long takes for the sake of it being a long take, but just really well done long takes, very well done long takes. So I enjoyed that element as well. One last positive that I think I need to mention. I know, or I'm actually not sure what was the budget for Mean Girls 2024. Let me look it up just a second. So, film has a $36 million budget, which is, I think, very modest compared to what we get today. So far, it has globally, it's made 84.3 million. So already making a profit, and I think they will be very happy with that. So considering the budget, and to be fair, sometimes the budget does show on screen because it does sometimes feel like it's a movie made for streaming, right? It does feel like it's a movie made for streaming, not for the cinemas. But I think they did a great job. I think they did a great job in bringing this to the cinemas because it's making a profit, right? Anyway, so considering the budget, I think the sets feel a little cheap, but the overall cinematography, the overall direction, all the editing really elevate this movie. Now, that leads me now to my negatives on the movie. First of all, as great as the performances were by our three main plastics, I have to say that for a movie called Mean Girls, the three main plastics really aren't that mean. I mean, especially Regina George. I mean, Rachel McAdams was fucking cruel in the original movie. Here, she's just like, yes, okay, she's a bit mean at times. It's like, okay, and the dancing and the musical sequences, maybe you could say there were people, but it just feels like no one's really scared of them. That's the impression I've got from the movie. So, I mean, again, it's a question of portrayal, and I mean, this is Tina Fey writing the movie, so obviously it's a decision taken by Tina Fey to portray them less as mean girls, more as maybe like misunderstood characters, possibly. I disagree with that decision, but I mean, it's a decision by Tina Fey. Also, again, for a movie called Mean Girls, it's really lacking in that biting, harsh humor that you had in the first movie. Now, again, we have to understand movies are a product of their time, and 2004 was a very different period of time to 2024, right? So, I mean, Tina Fey herself, I've seen interviews with her who said she had to tone down some of the humor, had to tone down some of, especially like some of the, I mean, homophobic humor, let's be honest, in the original. And I mean, that obviously makes it a less funny movie at the end of the day, right? As a product. So, I mean, we have to keep that in mind as well. Also, surprised, the original Mean Girls had lots of very interesting socio-political commentary. Now, this movie does also have quite a bit of socio-political commentary. It's just, again, not as biting, not as well done as the original Mean Girls. And I know as a reviewer, sometimes you want to try and avoid comparing and contrasting movies. But I mean, let's be honest, it's impossible not to compare the two Mean Girls right together. So overall, I think it's lacking in all those elements. Now, it was a tone. So Tristian saying it was a toned down 2024 version. Yes, I agree. I agree with that three. Now, you might be asking, what do you think about the performance by Angourie Rice as Katie Heron? And again, I have to say, I think Angourie Rice got the short end of the stick here, especially obviously when you compare and contrast her with the legendary Lindsay Lohan, right? Who was such a presence in the original movie. Her transformation into a plastic was iconic. Here, it's not bad. Her performance is not bad, and it's more a question of the direction, I would say, rather than her performance per se. But I think that she's just not as convincing. When you compare her to Renee Rapp, and when you compare her to Awantika, and when you compare her to Bebe Wood, I think she's just not as much of a presence as those other performers. And even when you compare her to Janice and Damien, Ali Carvalho and Jaquel Spivey, just not as much of a presence as those other performers. And that's, I think, another negative of this movie. So to conclude my review, I think overall Mean Girls is a fun watch. If you're a fan of the original, you probably have already been to watch it in the cinema. But don't go in comparing it like I've just done right now in my review, basically, because you're going to leave the cinema disappointed. I did not. I enjoyed the musical sequences. I was really impressed with the casting. I think they did a very good job in casting almost all the roles. Some of the actors in this were really, really underutilized. For example, we have John Hamm as Coach Carr. His story was completely missing. Ashley Park as well. Basically didn't see any of her. Mr. Duvall, Tim Meadows reprising his role, also Tina Fey reprising her role as Miss Norbury. Was great to see them in this. But I feel like even the whole teacher element of it all was much stronger in the original Mean Girls than in this one. Just felt like you've got John Hamm. Use him, right? As one of the best actors in Hollywood, playing their trade in Hollywood, and just use him in one or two scenes. Use more of him, right? Anyways, so overall, I think Mean Girls is a decent watch. Nothing spectacular, nothing that's going to win any awards. But again, the musical sequences were good. Were not fine. Good, very good musical sequences. And we have a great trio right in the plastics. And then it's an overall fun time at the cinema. My rating for Mean Girls is a 3 out of 5. That's it with the reviews for today. Thank you so much to all the viewers and listeners who have joined today. Thank you so much for chatting as well. Had a great time as always. Thank you to Franco for joining me today. And as always, guys, leave a like, leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts about all the different topics we talked about today. And with that, I will bid you adieu. Ciao, ciao, and good night.